Hello everybody, we're back. We're live again from my garage. Welcoming everybody. My name's Mark. I do fireworks. I'm here in the UK, in Manchester. This is the fourth live stream in the last 5 days. I think we've gone 4, 8, we've done like nearly 12 hours, I think, of streaming, over 12 hours of streaming over the past 5 days. So let's do some more. Why not? Welcoming everybody. If you're new, welcome. Click subscribe if you like fireworks. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back to my garage. Bulletproof Mum was first in the chat. She says, good evening, day 4 of Will Jen Stay Awake. I do have a week off, so maybe. Welcome in, Bulletproof Mum. Nice to have your company here. 3D printer guy is here as well. Says, good evening all. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing really well, thanks. 3D printer guy. I've got quite a lot done today off stream, just to kind of catch up with where I want to be. And we'll talk about that in a minute or two. And 3D Printer Guy says, I'm here on time today and please like the live. Yes, if you like this, if you've liked my other streams, go back and click like on them. It just lets YouTube know that, you know, this is kind of quality entertainment that's absolutely free. So welcome in everybody. We're going to do some more fountain prep today. I know if you're bored of that, it's fine. We did a candle stream yesterday. We're doing a fountain stream today. Although actually, maybe we might do some cakes a little bit later on as well. We'll see. Because I have done quite a lot of my fountain prep now already. If you saw my streams on Thursday and Friday last week, we did the fountain prep, my fountain table prep for my display in Liverpool, which is this coming Sunday. I've also got a display coming up on Bonfire Night itself in Manchester, which is slightly bigger. It's on a football pitch, so I can't hammer anything into the ground. I'm going to have fountain tables on that as well with some slightly bigger fountains. So that's what I'm going to be assembling tonight. I've kind of assembled 4 of them already today. I've kind of got one more to do. I thought that's the best way to do it because if you're a regular visitor to my stream, you'll know I always have a plan of what I want to get done on the stream, and it never actually gets anywhere near that because I end up chatting to you guys. So I've got quite a bit done off stream today. Kamara Brocade says, hey Mark, having spent all day fusing, I thought I'd sit back and watch you do some. Well, welcome in, Chris. Good to have your company here this evening. The Grenada Man, where do you get your fireworks from? Various different specialist retailers. There are a number of them around in the UK. I have some local to me. I have some a bit further away. There's some that do online ordering and things. So the fireworks for these 2 displays have come from, I think, 5 different retailers in total, maybe 6. I can't remember, at least 5. So yeah, that's where I get my fireworks from. King's Crown is here. Popcorn, I believe the make of the firework also do crazy spinners. Yeah, Popcorn, I used this last year in my display. An amazing fountain by Vulcan. Really, really good. I like the design of it because it kind of looks like a popcorn bucket. There's actually a lot of that's weight in the bottom of that. It's just normal fountain tubes in there. But design-wise, it's good. Height-wise, it's good. Effects-wise, it's good. It's got loads of crackle in, as you'd expect from a fountain called Popcorn. Really, really good. I like that one a lot. So I'm using that I used it in my Liverpool display last year. I'm going to use it in my Manchester display this year. Let me see if I still got what was in the bottom of those. Let me see if I've still got some over here. Did I throw them away? Oh no, here they go. So interestingly, in the bottom of those Vulcan fountains, these are from my ones last year, there's a bag. Don't worry, it's not drugs. It's nothing dangerous. It's like it's kind of like a sand. In fact, it's clay. I think it's the clay that they put in the bottom of tubes for cakes and things. And this is actually in the bottom of each of these. There's a bag of that to give it some stability and weight. Because it is, I guess, top heavy because it's so tall. So yeah, in the bottom of every popcorn fountain is a bag of clay bung bits. Hashtag clay bung bits. There's the first hashtag of the stream. Hashtag clay bung bits. If you watch my streams, you'll know occasionally we come up with these bizarre hashtags which make me laugh and nobody else, but we go with it. So yeah, so lots of stuff on these tables, bigger fountains than on my Liverpool show, because my Liverpool show I have very restricted space, so everything has to be really quite small. This display is going to be fired from the centre of an FA football pitch, and so it needs to be bigger because the audience are going to be further away, so the effects need to be a little bit more impressive. 3D printer guy. I have been getting some of my last lot of cakes ready, just checking all the tubes are intact and try to lower any risk. Yes, I've been skimming the top of a few cakes today as well. I also, those of you who were here for the stream yesterday when we were doing my candle frames are now pretty much finished. I don't know if you can actually see them because I've kind of tilted the camera down to be able to show you what's on this table, this makeshift table that I made. But the candle frames have now got the Vulcan mines on, which they didn't have on at the end of the stream yesterday. I've also neated up all the cable ties, chopped off all the excess. I still need to fuse all those, but they're kind of, for the most part, everything's on those now, which is good. Disney World Freak, Carlos is here. Welcome, Carlos. Says, hope you and the family are well. Yes, we're all good. Thanks, Carlos. I hope you're doing well too. Great to have you here on my stream. Terry Parkinson is back. Terry says, good evening, Mark and all. Yeah, welcome in. It's nice to see some regulars here now. I say regulars because this is the fourth stream I think we've done in as many days, in 5 days actually. And it's great to see so many of you back here for a little bit of time this evening in my company, in my garage. So welcome, you are very welcome. And if you're new, you're very welcome as well. If you're watching on the replay, you're also welcome. Leave a comment down below and I do read them all. So Bambography says, hello, I've missed the stream so far. So glad to drop in and say hi today. Well, welcome in, Bambography. And the great thing about YouTube is you can go back and rewatch those streams as well. I know some people were watching, because I did a similar thing last year, all this prep from my garage sort of in the weeks up until bonfire night. And I know some of you went back and watched those a couple of weeks ago as well and commented on those. And so, yep, they're there for all time on YouTube. Well, unless YouTube decides one day to delete them. But for the time being, they're there. So you can watch all this streaming and me talking nonsense for 4 hours at a time on each stream if you so wish. It's all there on my channel. Right, we've got 9 of you watching as well at the moment, so welcome everybody. So yeah, we're going to do these fountain tables today. Say they're slightly different to my Liverpool ones. I'm not just going to replicate the same show twice. Yeah, that would have been the easy option, but as I say, the space on the Liverpool site is very limited, so I have to use smaller fireworks. Whereas the space on my Manchester one is bigger, so I can use bigger fireworks. And so I've had to adapt the shows a little bit. But they're both still going to have fountain tables. They're both still going to have 5 fountain tables spread out across the width of the front of the display. My Liverpool one's going to have 3 candle sites as well on these candle frames that we built on yesterday's stream. And then there's going to be 3 cake sites as well behind that. So yeah, that's the plan. So today I've been busy kind of screwing brackets onto these boards. These are the boards I've made for my Manchester display. Let's take all these off a second and show you these boards. Very similar to the ones I made for Liverpool, actually slightly longer though. My Liverpool ones are square, they're like 300 by 300. These are 300mm by 360. Slightly longer because I knew I had some bigger fountains and things to get on it, so I needed to make sure I had the space. It's basically just a couple of 150mm boards. I think they're 22mm thick. Pick them up from B&Q. You can get similar from local hardware stores. A batten across there, screwed down to keep them together to make one plinth. And I've also offset this batten. We were talking on one of the streams, I can't remember which one now, how do I protect my rails, which is what the igniters connect into, from debris and fallout from the fountains. Well, the way to do it is to recess one of these battens. So my slat, my rail will be screwed into there. This would be the top here. The rail will be under there, protected by this lip, so showers of sparks from the fountains on here can't actually go down and do any damage to my rails and slats under there. You may also notice there's another batten along here. Now, my fountain tables that I did for Liverpool, they're basically going to be flat. I'm going to do them at different heights this year. Last year I did all 5 at the same height. But what somebody was saying on the stream last year, oh, have you thought about doing them at different heights? And at the time I hadn't really, but this year I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do the ones in Liverpool on like a pyramid. So the centre one's going to be higher than the next one and the next one, just to sort of just make it a bit different. But I've got more width on my display in Manchester. So I'm going to do the fountain tables themselves at different angles. So the one in the centre is going to be flat. The one either side is going to be an angle like that, and the ones on the outside are going to be even more of an angle. So that's what these battens are. So the speaker top hats that you will have seen on my other stream, which is what I use to connect these fountain boards and candle frames to the speaker stands, that's going to sit across there. So rather than being flat, that bracket, that top hat's going to be at an angle. So it means when I put this on to a vertical speaker stand, it's going to be at an angle, not obviously not quite that angle, but you get the idea. So that's what those battens are on there. So those are my basic fountain boards. Obviously, to put fountains on there, I need to mount them securely so they're not going to fall off. And the way I do that is with, well, on my smaller fountain boards, it's been with these little 50mm corner brackets. You get them in a box of 30 from Amazon, quite cheap and really useful. I like the fact that 50mm because it's the same width as gaffer tape, so I can screw these on, put something next to it and gaffer tape around, and it covers the whole bracket. It's really quite nice. But obviously these are not the best if you've got bigger fountains. Like this is Goldilocks, which is that 11 inches or 13 inches? Let's get a ruler and have a little look. It is 11 inches. There we go. So obviously little brackets like that, not the best. They do work. I used some Goldilocks in my display in Liverpool last year on those other fountain tables, and I put 4 of these around, put some strong double-sided on the bottom, stuck it down, 4 of these around the side and gaffered round, and it was absolutely fine. But of course those were flat tables. For this display in Manchester, these tables are going to be at a slant, so there's going to be a bit more force on it. So I'm going to be using some bigger ones. I've got some frame ties. So these were shelving brackets, little corner brackets. I've also got some frame ties, some 100mm frame ties and some 150mm frame ties. Interestingly, they're exactly the same price for the 150 and the 100mm. I don't know why. These are from Screwfix. They're more expensive than these little 50mm. So you can get about 30 of these for, I can't even remember how much, but relatively cheap. These are like 10 for £6, something like that. So a lot, more expensive. And I'm going through quite a lot of these at the moment. But, we've got to be safe. These are obviously a lot better for this. The difficulty with this, of course, is the cones are not straight. They have sloping sides, and these frame ties are straight. So I have to bend the frame ties in a little bit as well on here. I've been using 2 for these, and it seems to be working quite well. And obviously then gaffer tape around. There's no way this is going anywhere. And it's double-sided tape on the bottom as well. So that's the plan. Let's have a look. Disney World Freak, when is this year's stream for Bonfire Night? So this year I'm doing a public display in Liverpool on Sunday, this coming Sunday, Sunday the 3rd of November. I'm then doing a display closer to home in Manchester on Bonfire Night itself. So 2 big displays. They're my own displays this year. Last year I only did the one in Liverpool. But because I'm doing one on Bonfire Night itself, there's not going to be a live stream from my back garden this year for Bonfire Night, I am afraid. There will be one for New Year's Eve. I know you guys like those streams. I'm sure it will feature a jacket potato. If you know, you know. If you don't, you want to tune on New Year's Eve for that. But we're kind of making up for it this week by doing lots of live streams from my garage as I prep for my 2 shows. But I hope you can understand why I can't really do one from my back garden this year, because I'm just not going to have the time because I've got 2 shows to do. Yeah, I could maybe do it on the Monday, but it's just like I'll have had a big show on the Sunday, I've got a big show on Tuesday. It's rather a lot. So no Bonfire Night live stream from my back garden this year, I'm afraid. But you can stream all the previous ones. You can go on my channel and look at those again, watch those again and relive them this Bonfire Night. Why not? But I will be filming both of my shows in Liverpool and in Manchester, and they will appear on my channel in a week or 2's time. So yeah, that's where we're up to. So thanks for your question on that. Craig Whiteman is here. He says, evening all, welcome back in, Craig. Nice to have you here. 10 people here at the moment watching my stream. So yes, I'm going to be preparing this other set of 5 fountain boards for my Liverpool display. John is here as well. John Surfbum says hi. Hello, John. I appreciate it. I've just realised this camera if I stand up, this camera cuts my head off. Never mind. I will kind of bend down when I need to speak to the camera, and the rest of the time you can see what's going on my makeshift table. This table actually this is an OSB board. I've had to buy quite a few of these because for my display in Manchester, it's on a football pitch. Normally I would stake and tape cakes, so I'd hammer stakes into the ground, put a cake up against it, gaffer tape around it. I obviously can't put stakes into a football or soccer pitch because it's going to damage it. So I've had to come up with a different solution. So instead I'm going to be using these OSB boards. These are 18mm thick. And I'm going to be using frame ties again. So screwing frame ties into this board, putting cakes up against it. So frame ties on all sides of the cake, cakes in the middle, gaffer tape around it. The cake's not going to go anywhere. So that's the plan with the OSB boards. But actually it makes quite a nice little makeshift table here in my garage as well for me doing some prep on. which would have been really useful last night if you watched my stream yesterday when I was trying to do these candle frames vertically. It was a bit of a nightmare. If I'd thought of this last night, I could have done the candle frames on here. It would have been so much easier, but possibly not as much fun. So there we go. Yeah, everyone's saying hello to everyone else in the chat. That's nice. Right. Okay, so let's talk about what's going to go on these boards first, and then we'll get them on. So there's going to be a couple of these little Skycrafter candles. These were cheap as chips, 100 shot each. One's called Stinging Bees, one's called Snappy Days. This one does like some little crackly type things. This does some little red, green, and maybe even blue pearls. Is it red, green, and blue, or just red and green? I don't know. Apparently it ejects stars and bangs. It doesn't really bang, it kind of crackles or snaps, hence the name Snappy Days. A couple of those on there. There's going to be a Goldilocks fountain on each. Basically, the 5 boards are going to be pretty much identical. My Liverpool ones are slightly different, so boards 1, 3 and 5 are kind of the same, and 2 and 4 are slightly different. For this display, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are pretty much, for all intents and purposes, identical. So there's going to be a Goldilocks fountain on each, so 5 of these spread out across my firing site, which is about 16 metres. So like every 4 metres, there's going to be one of these. And of course, centre one's going to be vertical, next one's going to be at an angle, next one's going to be at more of an angle. So 5 of those going off in effectively a fan across 16 metres, I think should look quite impressive. So these were new from last year. I was the first to get my hands on them and film them last year and get some landing footage. Lovely gold fountain with some blue in there as well. Really nice, from Vivid Pyrotechnics. That's Goldilocks. These two are from Skycrafter. They've been around for years. Let's say I got these about £3 each, really cheap. But again, 5 of those going off in a fan should look okay. Adam Myers is here. Hi Mark, sorry I'm late. Very much enjoy your live streams. Thanks Adam, I appreciate that. And if you do enjoy these live streams, folks, do click the like button. It helps YouTube know that you like this kind of thing. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, well, subscribe. Enable notifications. You'll be notified whenever I go live, because I don't stream to a schedule. I just stream as and when. So you want to be notified, then you want to be subscribed and enable all notifications, and YouTube will let you know whenever I go live. Okay, so the 2 Skycrafter candles, 100 shots each. Goldilocks, lovely fountain from Vivid. A couple of other conic fountains. That's 11 inch. I've got a couple of 8 inches on here. These are Yorgi ones. Haven't used these ones personally before, but I've seen video. They look all right. A silver cone, 8 inches, and a colour cone, 8 inches. So they're going to go on here as well, like that. Popcorn fountain that we spoke about at the top of the stream by Vulcan. Used these last year. 5 of them going off together was insane. They are so crackly and noisy. So I'm not always a big fan of crackle, but used in the right kind of way, it can work quite well. I used these as part of my finale last year. I might use them as part of my finale this year for this display in Manchester. We'll see. I haven't quite designed the shows for either of these yet. I'm just kind of assembling stuff and kind of working the show out as I go, and then I'll program it all into my new firing system. So Vulcan fountain on there as well. We're also going to have 5 of these Spectrum fountains. I've used these in my Liverpool display as well. I managed to get a load of these quite cheap. These are jelly bean fountains. I'm not sure how these are going to work. I'm curious to see, well, I know how these are going to work because I've fired these before. And for my Liverpool display, they're great because the audience are closer. For this display in Manchester, the audience is going to be 50 metres away. So I don't know how these are going to look, but I can raise the speaker heights as high as they'll go. These are going to be at angles as well. So I'm thinking 5 of those together at 50 metres. We'll see. Bit of an experiment, really. Let's see whether the audience like it. I mean, jelly beans love audiences. Jelly beans love audiences. Audiences love jelly bean fountains. So we'll see what it looks like at 50 metres with 5 of these going off together. Bit of a test, really, on that one. So that's going on there as well. We're also going to have 5 Hocus Pocuses from Brothers Pyrotechnics going off as well. I'm using some of those in my Liverpool displays, 2 there. I'm using 5 for my Manchester display. These are great, like fountain mine combinations. They were around for years and disappeared. They're finally back for 2024, and I was able to get a great price on these, so I got a load of these. So Hocus Pocus starts off with a silver fountain, and then after about 20 seconds goes to a mine, goes back to the fountain, a mine again, a fountain and a mine again. Real crowd pleasers. 5 of those going off together is going to be interesting, because again, you can't sort of synchronize the mine effects in them, so they're potentially all going to go off at different times, but I think that's going to look quite good. 5 of those together. So let me just cancel this notification. There we go. Right. Also on here, there's going to be, of course, because I use these in pretty much all my displays, the Yorgi white strobe on the front. On a couple of these boards as well, we've got the Celtic blinkers, the red blinkers. You'll have seen on my stream yesterday, I've got some of those on my candle frames as well. On boards 2 and 4, there's going to be some red blinkers as well. That's the only difference between these boards, is that the red blinkers are on 2 and 4, and then the candle frames. Originally, when I was designing this, there's going to be a red blinker on all 5 of these and nothing on the candle frames, but I kind of moved the ones from boards 1, 3 and 5 to the 3 candle frames instead, because I think that's going to look good at different heights and things for the strobe. So that's going on there. And then we've got these little 128 shot mini pearl cakes from Standard Fireworks. This is a bit of a kind of a change. I had originally planned on not having these on here and instead having some turbocharge from Bright Star, which is a new Roman candle battery for 2024, which looks really impressive. But I wasn't actually able to get them in time. My supplier didn't take stock of them before they were able to deliver them. So instead, they swapped out those 2 turbochargers. I was going to put 1 in each show for like quite a few of these. So I'm going to have 5 of these going off. Basically, these shoot up like red and green pearls. There's so many different varieties of these cakes out. Pretty much everyone makes like a mini pearl cake. Usually they're 96 shots. This is 128. What I like about this particular one from Standard is that the pearls have little strobes on as well, which some of the little pearl cakes don't. They just have the coloured pearls. So I went for this one because it's got little white strobes in there as well. So again, on its own, not a great firework. When I've got 5 of them going off in a fan spread over 16 metres, on speaker stands that are going to be 2 metres off the ground, it should look, I think, quite good from 50 metres, but we shall see. So that's basically what we got on here. Oh, and the other 2 things we're going to have on here as well are these. I picked up these Yorgi flares. We've got a white strobe flare from Yorgi and a red flare from Yorgi. Not used these before. I do like Yorgi products in general. This is, the product code is JF48/white strobe, and this is JF48/red. They do a green one as well. I think they might even do something like a red strobe on a green strobe. These are the only ones I was able to get hold of. But I'm going to have a white strobe flare and a red strobe flare. I'm not sure how these are going to perform because I've not used them before. I have seen video of them. I don't know how smoky they're going to be. So again, a little bit of a test, but used in multiples at angles. Let's see what they look like. So there's going to be a red flare and a white strobe flare on each of these as well. And these are really quite unusual. The footage I've seen of this shows people holding them. Normally you don't hold fireworks. There isn't anything explicitly on here that says do not hold. Although that said, there is actually no instructions in English on these either. They are legal, but they should have a sticker over with UK instructions on, and these ones don't. So it's all in Polish, but it's category F2. And there is how many grams of net explosive content in these. Let's have a little look. Let's see if it says. It should say. Oh, there we are. Yeah, 49.5 in the red flare and 39.5 in the white. What is interesting about these is they're very top heavy. Obviously that doesn't come across on the stream, but it feels almost like the firework is only in that part and this is almost like a handle. I say I have seen footage of these being held. I don't want to hold these, but it doesn't explicitly say don't hold them. But I think this is kind of air here. I think the firework is in this bit here. It's probably about the same size as the Yorgi little white strobe, so it's probably only that high in there. But a couple of those in there as well. We'll see what they look like. The red ones I think I'm going to use as part of my finale, which is turning into quite a red finale at the moment. It's going to include Ghost Rider, 2 Ghost Riders from Celtic. It's going to include Screaming Demons from Vivid, and these red flares and some red blinkers, and it's going to go quite red at the end. No particular reason, only it's just I could get quite a lot of different red fireworks. I'd love to do endings in other colours, but it's quite difficult to kind of colour coordinate. There's not, for example, enough blue fireworks to be able to do a good finale, or enough green fireworks. You can do red, you can do gold, you can do silver, but there's just not that many fireworks out there that are like pure blue or pure green or things like that. So we're kind of going red on this one. My Liverpool one's going to go kind of gold and brocadey. We were ending with a Brexit as part of the finale for that. But this one's going to have a couple of Ghost Riders on my outer cake sides and a Screaming Demons in the middle, and then stuff going off on these boards. It's going to be red flares and red strobes and things like that. So we shall see. The English sticker is on the box of those flares. Come in pack of 10 normally, they're really nice. Ah, yes, that might be why. I got, how many did I get? I didn't get a box of 10, I got 5, and so they've just come loose. So yes, that's a very good point. They will have come on the outer box. Interestingly, though, the retailer should probably have, if they're supplying them individually, should probably have supplied me with a box or with the instructions. I mean, I'm fortunate in that I'm competent enough to kind of know how to safely use these, but if you were to go into the retailer and just buy one of these and get this home and all the instructions are in Polish and there's no English on there, you know, it's not ideal. But yeah, that's a good point, that Chris, thank you. I did 3 of those pearl cakes last year, 2 to open my display, a cracking small piece. Yeah, as I say, there's loads of different ones you can get. There's Bright Star do like Oriental Pearls, which I think is 96 shot. Evolution do, actually Evolution do a couple of different ones, and I can't remember the names of them, but they're unusual because they do one that's like blue and yellow instead of like the traditional red and green. This is red and green, but it has got those little strobes in as well, which I thought was a little bit different. So wasn't in my original plan. As I say, I was going to use some turbocharged from Bright Star new for 2024, but I haven't been able to source those, sadly. So there's also not many in the country from what I understand, and that's been a problem this season in general. There's been some production issues in China this year. China's had one of the wettest summers on record, and as a result, they've not been able to get fireworks dry as quickly as they'd like. So everything's been coming in late. There's been issues with shipping as well. So fireworks are still this week even arriving in the country, and retailers are trying to get them out to customers. I am actually still waiting for some fireworks. I'm hoping they're going to come in time. I do have some contingencies if they don't, but we'll see. But yes, everything's kind of late and last minute this year. So lots of people tearing their hair out. What hair they have. So yeah, that's basically what's going on these boards here. So not a massive amount of space, but I have prepped like 4 of them this afternoon, and they do kind of all fit on. I'm going to put these strobes to one side for now because I don't need those right at this minute. Let's put them back away in there. Oh, and then also on the back of this, so this is the front, this is going to be facing the audience, this is the back. Obviously, you always try and do your bigger fireworks as further away as you can. So like the Goldilocks fountain, which is the biggest conic fountain on here, I've got that right at the back of the board as opposed to right at the front. Does 36 centimetres make an awful lot of difference? No, probably not. But I'd rather have this at the back. If this goes kaput and bang, I'd rather have that at the back rather than at the front, even though my audience are going to be like 50 metres away for this display. So that's what's happening here. I need to get some brackets on here now to support these various fireworks. So let's just take all these off for now, like this. And let's turn the board over and get some brackets on. So on this side, actually, in order to do this, I need to know the angle of these fountains. Let's put these ones back on. So I'm going to be using the 150mm frame ties for these. I'm going to screw them in under the board on this side here, bend it so it's up against the fountain. I'll do another one again on here, on this side somewhere, bend it so that the frame tie is touching the cone, and then I'll be able to gaffer tape around the whole thing, and also do double-sided tape on the bottom just to prevent any movement, and that will be fine. So what I do need to do though is bend this, because at the moment if I screw that in like that, there's going to be this big air gap between the frame tie and the cone, and I want this to be kind of flush with that. So let me just try, and they do bend these. They are a bit more stiff than the 50mm brackets, but they do go. So let's see what that's like. That's actually not too bad. I might have overdone that one a little bit. Let's bend that one back a touch. Oh, not enough. Let's go back again. Touch more. That's pretty good. That's good. So we'll put that one in for that one. I need to bend ones in for this one, and they're going to be the 150mm ties again. I need to start a new box of these. New bag rather. So these are from Screwfix, like a pack of 10's, like £6, so they're not cheap, but the best value I could find for these frame ties. If anyone knows any frame ties you can get cheaper, do let me know. These are 150mm by 50, and I've got some 100mm by 50 as well, and then my little corner brackets off Amazon are 50 by 50. Those are the 3 different size brackets I've got. They all do the job. These I use loads of for my smaller fountains and things. But obviously this year, because I'm doing this bigger display as well with bigger fountains and things, I needed something a bit bigger. So that's what these are. So that one's for that one. I need to bend this one in so it's kind of flush with this one. Let's bend this. Let's see what that's like. That's close. A little bit more. That's pretty good. And we've got two fountains the same size there, so I'm going to need two of those. So I need to bend another one the same as that. Oh, yeah, they bounce quite well as well. Let's move these out of the way, have a bit more space to work. I mean, you could use a pair of pliers or whatever to bend these, but I'm just doing it with my hands. I'm not particularly super strong, but these are bendable enough that you can do them with your hands. That one's a little bit too bent. Now let's bend that one back a touch. There we go, perfect. Okay, so let's move these cones off. Turn this this way. See if that stands up. Yeah, it kind of does. Let's get some screws. And my screwdriver. And let's get these in. So this one's going to be the one for the Vivid Goldilocks fountain. Really lovely conic fountain. There we go. Next, for the Yorgi Silver 8-inch cone. That's good. And then the Yorgi 8-inch colour cone. I think Yorgi do a gold one as well and a crackling one. I didn't get the whole set because for gold I'd rather have the Goldilocks, and for crackling I'd rather use the Vulcan popcorn, so that's why I didn't get the complete set of 8-inch cones that are available from Yorgi. There we go, so those three are on there. I also need one on this side for the popcorn, one which will probably need a little bit of an angle putting on it as well. Let's get another one like this. Let's see where we're up to. Actually, that's not too bad. It might just need bending in a tiny little bit. There we go. Let's get this one in this side. Gonna need another screw. We're going into a knot in the wood, which isn't the easiest, but we'll make it work. It's been really mild here today as well, guys. It's been wet, but it's been so mild for October. I'm actually kind of sweating. I'm in my garage and it's like 10 o'clock at night and it's really hot. Right, there's that. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3. We also need a couple of little ones at the front for the Yorgi strobe and the pearls, and we will need a big one as well for the spectrum. So we'll put this one in at the front like that. I need another screw. good. And we'll do a little 50mm one here to support the strobe. And then we'll do a couple on this side to support the little mini pearls cake from Standard. So I'm going to need a couple more of my 50mm ones. So new box of these, new pack of these. These come in packs of 30, which is quite good. The frame ties only come in packs of 10, which is a bit annoying. Okay, so let's get one of these in here. It's good. And one in on this side. Kind of about here. That's good. Right, I think that's all the ones I need around the edge. So, oh no, I need to get some in for these. Which way around did I do these? Let me just have a little look. That one there. Now, I used a couple of these on my fountain boards that I was doing for Liverpool. Well, I used a couple of the, which ones did I use? The Snappy Days ones, I think. And for the first board, I actually snapped off this plastic. They come with this plastic stand so they don't fall over, which makes it quite difficult to kind of butt it up against brackets because the plastic stand gets in the way. So I snapped it off on the first one, which was a bit of a pain to do, but it did work. For the second one, I thought, oh, I wonder if I can actually just screw the brackets kind of down onto the actual plastic stand, and I can, and that works quite well. The other reason I snapped one off as well is because quite often you get these and they come at funny angles. They've not been stuck on. In fact, that one's not perfectly straight vertically either, but we can turn that round and it will be okay. And 3D Printer Guide weather is still looking good for me. Will it be good for both your displays? Yeah, at the moment I think there's a big high pressure kind of coming over, so it's looking like it's going to be dry, which is good. There's nothing worse than setting up in the wet. I mean, obviously I'm a pro, I'm kind of used to it, and you guys as well, if you crew for companies as well, you're used to setting up in all kinds of weather conditions and all kinds of ground conditions, and yeah, it's not glamorous, is it? But hopefully the weather's looking all right, which will be good. Hopefully I can set up in the dry, hopefully I can fire in the dry, and hopefully everybody will have a good time. So for these, the way I've been fixing these is to use these little 50mm brackets again. To basically sort of clamp down on the plastic stands. So Kamara Brocade says, I wish those Celtic monster fountains came a bit earlier. 3 of those in a Trident would look unbelievable. Yeah, wouldn't they look great? Be expensive, an expensive Trident, but yeah, they would look good. And if you don't know what we're talking about, folks, search on my channel for the word monster. Celtic have brought in a new firework this year, a new fountain. It's really impressive. It was going to be a professional only fountain. They've been able to get it categorized as a consumer fountain, F3. It reaches a height of 10 meters. It lasts 60 seconds. It's gold. It's lovely. I got my hands on one this last week, filmed and fired it, and wow, it's impressive. The footage of it from anyone doesn't do it justice. You have to see it to believe it. So it's certainly going to have a wow factor if you've got those in your display this year. But yes, they came in late. They literally only landed, I think, last week, maybe the week before. They're causing quite a lot of buzz in the industry, I think is the best way to describe it. I can see though, because it is really popular, and I don't know how many Celtic brought in, because retailers sort of only had a few and they're sort of selling out. I suspect next year we're going to see lots of copies of that. I can see lots of other brands wanting to get in on the action on that, and I think that's not going to be the last fountain of that kind of standard we see. So that one's going in there. This one is going in. So again, space is really quite tight on these boards. I have been playing around this afternoon and managed to get everything in securely. But yes, space is quite at a premium on these boards. I could have done bigger boards. Yes, of course I could have done, but I like to keep things compact. Makes it easy to transport, makes it easy to waterproof, because I know I can just put a bin bag straight over this on the firing site and it'll be fine. I don't have to waterproof each individual fountain on here. That's that. I need a couple more. I need to bend these ones a little bit because I'm going to basically put them over there, so they're going to be screwed in there. It's going to push down on the rim, this plastic rim of the... When I come to gaffer tape it, I've got something in direct contact with the side of the fountain. Let me just bend this one in a bit more. I should have done that before I screwed it down. But that's okay, that's fine like that. Let's bend this one in a bit. Needs to go in a little bit more. That's good. Is that how I did it? Let me just check on my other boards. Yeah, that looks pretty much how I did it. And let's get a screw. And we'll screw this one in here. Like that. That candle is now really firmly in. Let's get this other one in as well. I'm going to need one more of these ties. Corner brackets rather. Bend that out so it's kind of the right angle. That might be bent out a bit too much. I'll bend it back a touch. And just to work out where that one needs to go, I'm just going to put this Goldilocks in there because I need to have some space there. I think that's how I did it on my other boards. Yeah. So let me just work out where my other brackets are going on these. Yeah, that's fine. I can go there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so another screw on here. So there we go. Those two are now secure. I am going to gaffer tape around those as well, but as you can see, those are now, I can hold those upside down. They're not falling off. So even without the additional gaffer tape, those are nicely secured. So you can see what I've done there. I've basically just put the bracket over the plastic stand, and that's kind of working quite well. So let's get the Goldilocks one in next. That's going to go in here. So I've got one frame tie in the side there. I need another, a big one to put in. Another side. I always use at least two frame ties on everything, unless it's something really small. If it's like a little Yorkie strobe, I'll just use one. But everything else will have at least two. I think everything on this board has two. So I'm going to put this one in here. Again, I just need to bend this out a little bit so it kind of juts up against the side of this. That's not bad. Could do with just a tiny bit more of a bend in it. Still needs a little bit more. you go. That might be a bit too much now. Let's have a look. No, that's okay. That's good. Right, screws. I really should bring the screws over here. I don't know why I keep having to turn around for them. Don't need washers at the moment. No, washers can stay there. And we'll get this in here. There we go. So Goldilocks is going to slot in there and be really securely gaffered. There's going to be double-sided tape on the bottom as well, and that's not going to go anywhere. So that's that one. Silver one's going to go in front of it. Coloured one's going to go in front of that. Let's get some frame ties on those. So we'll use the slightly smaller ones. I think on this, the 10mm ones will be fine. On here, 10mm, the 100mm ones rather. Okay, that's going to need bending out a bit. That's pretty good. Let's do the same with this one. And that's pretty good too. Okay, so let's get this one in here. That's good. And then we'll get one in here. I'll just make sure it's not going to interfere with that or that, which it's not. That's good. Okay, let's do the popcorn one on this side. So that's going to go there. And then I'm going to need a big 50mm bracket to get one on this side. Going to need to bend this back a bit as well. That's pretty good. We'll screw that one in there. Oh, it fell over. Move that out of the way so you guys can see. Well, actually you can't see because there's a frame tie in the way. But let's... That's good. That's popcorn. And then we need to do that little one. It's going to go in here. Some way. Let's see which side's flat. That's kind of a flat side. That will go in like that. That one's going to go in there. Spectrum. Little one's going to go in there, and then this in the middle. So we'll do the one in the middle in a second. Let's just get a small bracket for the small pearl cake. In fact, let's just work out where all the brackets are going to go first. So we're going to need a couple of tall ones for that one. You can get one in there and then one in there. That works well. Let's get a tall one in for the Spectrum, which should fit in quite nicely there. That's good. That means we can get a little one in for the little pearl cake. Get that one in down here. So actually, having said everything's got 2 ties, the pearl one's actually got 3. You can never have too many though. You know, the more you have, the better, basically. But I'm confident that with the height of these frame ties, how well screwed they are into the wooden boards, and the fact I'm going to be gaffer taping around them as well, and putting double-sided tape, some 3M industrial strength and a double-sided tape underneath all these big pieces as well. I'm really happy they're not going anywhere, even with these boards being like sort of, I think 30 degree, no, 25-degree angle, I think is the most extreme angle I'm going to be having these at. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, let's take that out and that out, and let's screw in the one on this pearl cake. So yeah, how's your prep going, guys? I know a few of you have been saying you've been doing some prep today. How far along are you? Is everything going well? What have you still got left to do in your prep? I've got quite a bit to do still. I've got to actually design my shows and program them. So yeah, I've got quite a bit to do still. But I hope your prep is going well and smoothly for you. I mean, my prep's going well. There's just a lot of it to do because I've got 2 displays. So that's good. This one in here. Let's get this one in here first, in fact. Move this one out of the way so I can actually get in. So it's quite tight and compact here. That's good. That's for spectrum. And then we just need to get this one in there and bracket up against it down here. Chris says, come on, Brocade, fountains, single shots and candles done, just cakes left, but did need to place a last minute order for more e-matches because I miscalculated. Yes, I've had to get quite a lot of e-matches as well for this. Normally for my display in Liverpool, because I have restricted setup time on the actual day itself, I tend to use talons a lot because I can prep those in advance. So all my fountain boards are talons. I usually do most of my cakes in talons as well. But as you may know, I'm using FireTech this year for the first time. FireTech, I've been playing around with its support for talons. It's not quite as robust on talons as I would like, as my old WPS system is. So I'm a little bit nervous about using purely talons. So I've gone for the fountains on talons and all the cakes on e-matches for that display. For the Manchester display, everything's going to be e-match because I've got a lot more setup time because I'm not firing till I think about 8:15 at night, whereas the Liverpool one's firing at 5:30 and I can only set up from I think midday. So very limited time on site for that one, whereas the Manchester one I've got a lot more setup time, so I can do a lot more fusing on site, as it were. Right, let's get this one in here. That's good. That just needs bending back a touch, actually. Perfect. One in there. Baby Lisa is here. Yay, you're back. Yes, I've been going for 53 minutes so far. So welcome in, Lisa. 3D printer guy, I overestimated with e-matches this year. It's nice having some kicking around for New Year's. And yeah, absolutely, yes. You can never have too many e-matches. Well, you probably could, but yes. I have them in various lengths, 30 centimetres, a metre, 2 metres. Yeah, I've got quite a few of those as well. Motor Dolphin is here, says, do you e-match into the first tube or onto the fuse? For cakes, I tend to e-match into the first tube. It's not something I show on my channel because it is quite a specialist thing, and obviously, as you can appreciate, anybody can be watching these, and so I don't really want to be demonstrating that on my channel. But yes, typically I will e-match into the first tube unless the Visco leader goes into quick match, in which case I'll just e-match into the quick match. Fountains are slightly more tricky to do because you've got to be careful. You can't just shove an igniter. You can't shove an e-match down the top of a fountain because it risks choking it, and it will go with a bang. So sometimes I will have to E-match into the fuse. Other times I will, depending on what the composition is like on the top, like so for example this little Yogi strobe, I know that this visco fuse just gets laid across the top and taped down. So if I put some tape match along the top and E-match into that, that will ignite that no problem. So there we go. Terry Parkinson, I'm prepping my first amateur pyro musical. Nice, to fire from a homemade analog system. Quite a bit to do. Yeah, pyro musicals are always a lot more challenging because of course you've got to get your timing, split second and stuff. Neither of the two shows I'm doing are pyro musicals, so that makes things a little bit easier. Obviously if they were pyro musicals I wouldn't be using talons at all because you know you can't get the accurate timing on that. But yeah, good luck Terry on that. Let me know how that goes. Baby Lee says the street next to me did some fireworks today. Yeah, the fireworks, I've seen some fireworks this evening from in the distance as well, so you kind of expect it this time of year, really. So there we go, there's my fountain table, kind of all the brackets in place. So the next thing to do, which I'm not going to do now, but it will be to tape all these down, gaffer tape them all down to the brackets. I'm going to put some double-sided tape under them, that's what I can be doing now. And then I'm going to be fusing them. I say these are all going to be E-matched, so I'm going to be doing that off the stream. I'm not going to show you guys that on the stream. And then I will be foiling the tops of them. Why do I put foil over the tops? To prevent cross-ignition. These are really close together. If you were doing a garden display, you'd space your fountains out. So if one was to go up, it's not going to trigger another one. Here, obviously, these are really close together, really close together. So there is a risk that one fountain could ignite other fountains on this table. It's not the end of the world if that happens. It has happened to me before, but I try and minimize that by foiling the tops with aluminium foil tape. If you saw my streams on Thursday and Friday, we did the same with my fountain boards for my Liverpool display. Fountain tape, I should call it fountain tape, shouldn't I? Aluminium tape, self-adhesive, high quality stuff. Put it over the tops of the fountains and then it should minimize the chances of sparks igniting it. Doesn't completely eliminate the risk. It will depend on what fallout comes out of these fountains, how hot it is, how long the fountain lasts. But this will take sparks for a little while. Obviously, if you've got 5 minutes of continuous sparks hot on here, it will eventually burn through. But for the most part, it works and it does the job really quite nicely. So let's have a look at the chat. Pyromed is here. Pyromed, hello. Have you ever fired the Clash of Titans barrage and rocket box by Karaticus Pots? No, I haven't. I'm aware of it, but no, I haven't. Karaticus Pots, of course, a relatively new brand as well. And we were talking about this on yesterday's stream, weren't we? It's an exciting time. There's lots of new brands coming to the UK, or have come to the UK in the last kind of year and a half, 2 years. Since COVID, so it's really exciting. There's just so much choice out there now for consumers. It's great. So no, I haven't fired anything from Karaticus Pots yet, but please use yours arrived today, and you look forward to firing it. Yeah. Terry says, Sheldon, thanks. Yes, baby Lisa, I didn't go to college today because I was feeling unwell. I was poorly. I'm sorry to hear that, Lisa. I hope you feel better tomorrow. You're still ill. Okay, well, hopefully this stream is going some way to pass the time for you this evening. It's coming up to 10:30 here in the UK. Of course, our clocks changed at the weekend, so we're now back on UTC GMT time. So it means it goes dark really early, which is great for fireworks. But I prefer the lighter evenings, really. But it's better because, you know, otherwise if I'm doing displays, if I'm doing wedding displays and stuff like that in the summer and I can't fire till like 10:30 at night because it's still light, it gets quite a long day. So yeah, lighter evenings are good. Okay, so I say I'm not quite ready to gaffer tape all these. I've repeated what I've just done. I've done that on my other 4 boards for this display. They're just down here. What I am going to do though is start getting some double-sided tape on these boards so that I can affix these, because one of the things I usually put double-sided tape on these and forget to peel it off. So I'm kind of thinking if I put double-sided tape on the board, then when I come to assemble this, I'll know that there's double-sided tape there. Plus it also means I can write on the double-sided tape exactly what should go where as well, which I thought was kind of a bit of a bonus. So let me get my double-sided tape, 3M tape, same width as gaffer tape, so 50mm. I get this from Lidl, kind of like twice a year they have it on offer. I think they're only 15-meter rolls, sadly, but they're only, you know, a couple of pounds, so really, really good value. They also do the foil tape as well. And then a week or so later, they do all the 50-metre 3M gaffer tape, which is great. So the 2 times I go to Lidl each year are for double-sided tape, aluminium tape, and then a week later for a bag full of gaffer tape. So there we go. Baby Lee says this stream might make me feel better. Well, I hope it does. So thanks for your company. Right, let's put some tape down here. I'm going to need some scissors as well. Where did I put my scissors? There they are. So I'm going to put some strips of tape on the board. This isn't essential, but like I think the more securing you can do, the better. Some people might think this is a bit of overkill, but I think it works quite well. And this tape, this 3M tape, is actually really good. I have before, like you can literally stick a fountain on with this and pick the whole board up by just lifting the fountain. The adhesive is that good on it. So I would never use it on its own without the frame ties and gaffer tape. But this is just, you know, an additional means to anchor the fireworks to the board. So I can stick that on there, and I can write with my Sharpie Goldilocks, so I know what's going there. Goldilocks. Actually, see, I can write on that with my pen. It doesn't really write very well on that. I probably need a biro maybe on that one, because I thought that would write on it with a Sharpie, and it's not. Let me grab a biro. Bear with me, you'll still be able to hear me as I go through here and venture into my kitchen to find a biro. There we go, I have a biro now. There we go, I'm back. Did you miss me? Let's see if a biro is better. Not great. Yeah, it appears you can't actually write on this tape. Whatever you write on it just rubs off. Never mind. I can remember where things go on here anyway. But okay, so Goldilocks was going to go there. The silver 8-inch is going here. That probably just needs one little strip of tape under it, I think, there. And the gold's going here, same thing again. So that's going to go in there. Kind of. How did I get that in? Maybe I did it. Where's that not going in? There we go. So these are definitely not going to fall out. I can't even get them back in. Goldilocks there. Gold one's going in like that. We'll do some for the Vulcan one. Do a little piece of that there. That's good. I don't need to do it for the Skycrafter candles because they're already really securely in. That's going to go there. Let's do some for the Hocus Pocus. This has probably got the most recoil kick in it out of anything on here because it has mine effects in. But even so, it's not got that much of a recoil. It's still relatively tame mines by comparison to some of the ones you can get. I'll do a couple of strips, I think, for this one. Let's catch up on Trat. Again, I was in Asda today and they were selling fireworks. Yes, they do. That's right. They were selling categories 1, 2 and 3. Yes. Anyone under 18 can purchase fireworks. No, they can't. You have to be 16 or over to be able to purchase category 1, typically. But you do have to be 18 or over to purchase category 2 or 3. It is actually illegal for anybody under the age of 18 to be in possession of category F2 or F3 fireworks in a public place. So I have heard stories, how true they are I don't know, of like a father and son going into Tesco's buying fireworks. Obviously the father buys them, gives them to the child to hold and walk out, and they've been stopped by security and told off because technically the child is in possession of fireworks in a public place, i.e. Tesco's. So yeah. Let's do a strip under here, under the spectrum. I don't know how these spectrums are going to perform at 50 metre distance. We shall see. They're going to be high enough off the ground that they should be okay. And say 5 of them in like a fan across a span of 16 metres, they might look okay. Then again, they might not. But if they don't, I won't use them again in a display where spectators are that far away. We shall see. Do Asda sell Cat 3? Yeah, I think some of their stuff's Cat 3, isn't it? I think most supermarkets, some of their bigger stuff is Cat 3. Most of it's Cat F2, but you might find some of the bigger barrages are F3. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what Asda was selling this year, but I would imagine there are some F3 pieces in there. Baby Lee says, I'm 20. Does that count as under the age to buy fireworks? No, if you're 20, you can legally buy category F2 and F3 fireworks. Camara Brocade was given some foil tape recently, but when I started using it, it was actually plastic. Oh dear, very thin aluminium, not great for fireworks. Yes, it's all about the quality of tape. Say this is 3. That's that one. This one isn't 3M tape. I usually use 3M tape. This one I've obviously just had knocking around for a while. This one just says Class O inside it. I know. But I've used this for years and it works really well. But yes, I am aware that some foil tape does have a little plastic coating on as well, which can all melt and not be great. So if in doubt, test it. Cut a little piece off, get a little lighter or something and light it and see whether you get a plastic kind of melting on it or see how it performs. Yeah, the 3D printing guy's saying, yes, if you're over 18, you can purchase them. Yes, that's right. I think Asda was selling low noise fountain. Yeah, I mean, all the supermarkets, I think, sell some low noise products now. It's a bit more of a demand for it than there was 5 or 6 years ago. Tesco do a really nice pack of fountains called Bright Lights by Standard Fireworks. A pack of 5 fountains, all low noise. It's actually not bad, not a bad little pack. £30 for 5 fountains, a £6 a fountain. It used to be £25 when it was first introduced a few years ago, so it has gone up a bit. But it's still a decent pack of low noise fountains. If you want to do something low noise in your garden for young children or whatever, then that's one to consider. Right, that will go on there like so. That's great. So everything's got a bit of tape underneath it. Oh, apart from the little Yorgie candle, which probably doesn't need it, but for completeness, I'll put a little double-sided sticky thing on there. Is that the fountain pack that's been rewrapped 3 times? Yes, I did a very funny video. Well, I think it was funny about wrapping on my channel. So search for a rewrap or wrap or something on my channel. We compared the Bright Lights fountain pack with the, what was it called? Serenity pack, maybe? I don't know. But basically Standard rebranded it. It's exactly the same pack as the Bright Lights one, but they rebranded it for other retailers. So it's known by a few different names, but there we go. Kamara Brocade, I'm going to tap out. Bedtime calling. Good luck with the rest of the prep, Mark. Another busy day prepping for me tomorrow. Yes, same here. I've got lots more to do tomorrow as well, but I'm pleased your prep is going well, Chris. Thanks for your company this evening and have a great night and see you again on my stream soon, all being well. David is here. Hello, it's David and my daughter Courtney watching from Wales. David, Courtney, hello, welcome in. Nice to have your company here this evening. My name's Mark. I do fireworks. I do them professionally. I do them as a hobby as well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My streams are always family friendly. My content is always family friendly, so you can watch it with your family, with your kids and stuff. There's never going to be any bad language. I don't promote anything illegal. I like to promote the safe and responsible use of fireworks and stuff. So streams are suitable for all. So welcome in, Courtney and David. Great to have your company here as well. Bulletproof Mum says that's the one. Is that the Serenity pack? Yes. Serenity or Bright Lights is exactly the same fountain pack, just rewrapped and rebranded. But yes, I did a video comparing those. It was quite funny. That's on my channel if you're interested. All they do a low noise box for £9.99. I'm going to try. Decent NEC for the, yes, is that the rainbow box? All they do, I can't remember the names of these selection boxes changed, but yes, they're, oh, is it actually called, it might even be called the low noise box. Yeah, I've seen that before. It's okay. It's okay. I'm using that pack. It's the 2 version. Which pack is that? The the fountain pack. So it's a 2 version. I thought there were 5 fountains in there. Baby Lisa, let that rewrap. I remember I'm still laughing at the beginning. Yes, I kind of dress up as a rapper, and yeah, I'm not going to spoil the video, but yeah, go see that on my channel if you're interested in that. It's called, I think that's a rewrap or something, or it's a rewrap or something like that. Just search on my channel, you'll find it. 3D printer car, we need to see Mark's rewrap song live. Yes. I think Rainbow was Asda's, but has been renamed now. Yes. It's either called Low Noise or Quiet Skies. Yes, that's right. Yes. They do change the names up from year by year. But yeah, most supermarkets now will do something at low noise, whether it be a fountain pack or a little selection box, things like that. Right, so there's board's number 5. Board number 5 is ready for me to attach igniters to and stuff, which I'm not going to do now. I will do that off stream. But on my other boards, I can be getting the double-sided tape in position as well. So let me move this one out of the way. Let's just put this one down here for now. And let me grab one of the other ones. Here's one I prepared. Oh, I'm sounding all Blue Petery now. Here's one I prepared earlier. Ta-da! Can you spot the difference? Yes, there's an additional red Celtic blinker on here that wasn't on the other ones. But other than that, everything else is the same as it was. So let me get some double-sided tape on these. But yes, talk about low noise fireworks, like everybody's kind of getting in on that game now. Not just supermarkets, all the big brands as well have kind of woken up to the fact that there is a demand out there for low noise fireworks, and so they're all producing low noise like barrage packs and things like that. Celtic do one called the Quiet Ones, which I got to film, be the first to see in the UK last year and film and review that. You'll find that review on my channel. Vulcan have got a barrage pack out as well of low noise fountains. There's lots of compounds out there that are low noise now. I know Pyroworks brought in a load of low noise stuff last year, well 2 years ago. Big low noise range there. They've kind of not brought anything low noise in this year, unfortunately, but I'm told the low noise stuff will be back again next year from Pyroworks, which will be nice to see. I think I actually did a low noise. Was it Bonfire Night last year? It might have been Bonfire Night last year. Was it the year before? So normally on Bonfire Night I live stream from some fireworks from my back garden, and it's great. We have a lot of fun. I eat a jacket potato and we have a bit of a laugh. And one year, it might have been last year, it might have been the year before, I did a low noise display. So it was all low noise for like 10-15 minutes or whatever it was, just using low noise fireworks, because there's a good range out there now. You can actually do some nice displays with just low noise fireworks. In both of these displays there is going to be a section of low noise as well. So yeah. Let's check in on the chat. $50p for a low noise fountain from Asda. Really? $50p for a low noise fountain? Are you sure that wasn't a packet of sparklers? Which are they fountains? Similar sort of effects, but no, that you're probably thinking of sparklers there, I would imagine, Baby Lisa. Blue Nose says keeps the the aunties happy, I suppose. Yeah, you know, not everybody likes fireworks, and I do appreciate that. But I'm also all about sort of promoting the safe and responsible use of fireworks. Fireworks, most people enjoy them. It's fair to say most people do. I know some people don't, and I get that and I understand that, but you know, let's all just get along. Not everybody likes dogs, but we accept that we have dogs. Not everyone likes horses, but we accept there's horses. Not everyone likes fireworks, and we need to accept there's fireworks. You know, if they're used responsibly, they're not used after 11 o'clock at night, when it's antisocial and all these kind of things, then, you know, why can't we all enjoy fireworks, or at least, you know, accept fireworks? Right, David Marko says, Marko, you're a lovely guy, well spoken. I message you on my phone, but watch on the TV. Yes, absolutely. Put it on the big screen. Why not? It's probably easier to see as well than on a little phone screen. But yeah, thanks for your company, David, and thanks for your comment. I appreciate that. And to your daughter, Courtney, as well. Thanks for being here. Bulletproof Mum says, the supermarkets especially seem to just rewrap name each year. Too often with less pieces, though. Yes, shrinkflation, as we call it. Because they're working to a price point, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that supermarket fireworks don't die out, but I can see a time where supermarkets don't sell them anymore. I mean, there are some supermarkets, Sainsbury's most notably, that now no longer sell fireworks. To be fair, when Sainsbury's did sell fireworks, they were massively overpriced, so I'm not surprised nobody bought them from there. But yeah, there are some supermarkets now that just won't sell them. Fortunately, most still do. And hopefully that tradition will keep going and won't die out. But I just have this horrible niggling feeling that there will come a time when you can't buy fireworks from supermarkets. Just like you can't really buy them from newsagents and corner shops like you used to be able to do when I was growing up, sort of in the 80s and 90s. That's died out, and hopefully supermarkets won't follow, but we shall see. I missed out a load of chat. Here we go. Sorry, Nasda today. So yeah, I think we're talking about sparklers, aren't we? There, baby Lisa. Yeah, Bulletproof Mum says, "Do you mean sparklers?" Bruno says, "Do you mean sparklers?" There we are. Yes, sparklers. Yes. I was going to say, if you find a fountain for 50p, that would be quite impressive. Unless it's a tiny little stroboscopic. Talking of which, I filmed and fired some of these. The video's yet to go up on my channel. These are new from Vulcan for this year. Strobo Cop, a little play on words there. A packet of 10 little strobe fountains, and when I say little, that's how big they are. They are tiny. They do a strobe effect a bit like a Yorgi strobe, but obviously that lasts for 60 seconds. This lasts about 5 and is like not very powerful. In fact, when I fired this, I was firing quite a lot of other fountains at the same time, so I made a little fountain board to have everything on. So because everything was close together, I foil topped everything. I put foil over the top of those. It wasn't actually powerful enough to actually burn through the foil. It's the first time I've ever had that happen. So, but yes, little fountains. I can imagine that being 50p. I can't actually remember what the RRP is for a box of 10 of these, but it's not that expensive. It's probably less than 50p a fountain. So yeah, that's a Strobo Cop rather, from Vulcan, new for 2024. There is a video coming, there is a review coming. I filmed quite a lot of stuff. I've not been able to get it all up on my channel at the moment because obviously this week I'm kind of really busy doing all my prep for my 2 shows, one in Liverpool on Sunday and one in Manchester on Bonfire Night itself on Tuesday. Anyway, that was a little segue there, talking about little fountains. Let's have a look. Some stunning low noise pieces around. Yes, there really are. I say I've got some coming up in my shows. When we do some cake prep, which will probably be on another stream, we might do some later, we'll see. You'll see some of the low noise pieces I've got. Fireworks, not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah, that's right, you know, and I get that, but we should all just be respectful. Everybody has different views and different tastes, and some people like things, some people don't. But, you know, guys, let's just all get along. You know, let's all spoil the fun for everyone. I haven't seen any fireworks in my 2 local Morrison's stores this year. Have they stopped them as well? No, Morrison's haven't stopped them. Morrison's do something slightly different now. They've kind of outsourced them to a company, I think, called Direct Fireworks. So you won't see them in store, but you should see order forms in store where you can order your fireworks. Or actually, no, I think they might have even changed that. I think you have to order online this year and you can pick them up in store. So they're not actually, there's no actual displays in store now. At some Morrison's, they have a big truck. This company, I think it's called Direct Fireworks. Someone will correct me, I'm sure, if I'm wrong. And they have a big truck that goes round to various Morrison's car parks, and you can get your fireworks from the back of a truck, which sounds really dodgy, but it's not. But yeah, Morrison's have kind of outsourced that, so Morrison's don't sell them directly, but you can order them, I think, through Morrison's. If not, you certainly order them online and collect them in Morrison's. So that will be why you haven't seen any in your local Morrison's. Blue Nose, I bought the low noise box from the range last year, 19.99, only just 100 grams NEC. Yeah, that's not a lot of NEC, is it? NEC, by the way, folks, net explosive content. It tells you how much powder there is, gunpowder, effectively, in a firework. Generally speaking, the more net explosive content something has, the better it is, generally speaking. So a selection box that only has a combined total of 100 grams NEC is not going to be that. You're not going to get any big fountains and big effects in that. It's going to be little stuff. So, but yeah, impulse buy. You know, I sometimes can't resist if I see a cheap selection box, just buying it just for fun. You know, I've got a 3-year-old daughter, and she would be quite happy seeing a tiny little fountain, even one of those little strobo cop things. She would get enjoyment out of that. So it's not always about the biggest pieces you can get the most NEC. It's about who your audience is. And if your audience is little kids, they're going to appreciate even the smallest fireworks, aren't they? Are they F1, says 3D Printer Guy? Are we talking about the Strobocops now? I think they're F2, but let me double check. Let's have a little look. No, they are F1. They are category F1. Yep. 17 grams in total across 10 fountains. So just over 1 gram of net explosive content in each, or rather just under 2 grams, should we say. Yeah, category F1. So what are we talking about, category F1, 2 and 3? There's basically 4 categories of fireworks. Consumer fire, well, the 4 categories of fireworks in the UK: category F1, F2, F3 and F4. So category F1 are things like party poppers, sparklers, usually, indoor fountains that you get to put on birthday cakes, things like that, or little little sparklers to go on cakes, little number sparklers and things. They're all category F1. Category F2 used to be called like garden fireworks. All this stuff on here is actually category F2. I think is the blinker F2, or is that? Yeah, that's F2 as well. So category F2 is traditionally called garden fireworks. They used to mandate a safety distance of 5 metres under the old British standard. It's now usually 8 metres. Some F2 products require 15 metre spectator distance, but it's usually either 8 or 15. That's F2. Then we move up to F3, which are used to be called display fireworks. Still available for anybody to buy. You don't need specialist knowledge to use them, but they are more powerful and you need a spectator distance of a minimum of 25 metres. So for my Liverpool display, I don't have a lot of space on site, so there's no F3 product in that at all. It's all F1, F2 and a little bit of T1, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then there's also F4, category F4. Now category F4 is professional fireworks. You have to be a person of specialist knowledge to be able to use those safely. I am a person of specialist knowledge, so I can use those, but they are not available for anybody to buy. You as a consumer can't go and buy any category F4 products. If somebody tries to sell you a product that's category F4, then really you should report that to the police. So those are the 4 categories of fireworks. I did just mention T1 as well. There's also category T1 and T2. They are theatrical pyrotechnics for the most part, although you can get some fireworks now that are T1. I'm going to be using some of them actually in my Liverpool display. I don't think I'm using any T1 in the Manchester display. No, but in the Liverpool display I'm using some T1 products. Anybody can use T1. Safety distances on T1 products do vary, so do read the labels. What I do like about the safety distances on T1 products is it gives you 2 safety distances usually. It gives you a safety distance in the direction of the effect. So if it's a fountain, how far above things can be. Why? Because a lot of pyrotechnics, T1 pyrotechnics, are designed for indoor use or used in stadiums, things like that. So you need to know what height they're going to go to, what height you can safely have your roof at and things like that. Obviously you can't change the height of your roof, but you can use the right pyrotechnics depending on the size of your venue. So they have a safety distance in the direction of travel. They also have a radial safety distance, which is similar to the safety distances you get on your consumer fireworks, how far away from the item people need to be. So that's T1. T2 is also theatrical pyrotechnics, but it's more specialist. Again, you have to be a person of specialist knowledge for theatrical pyrotechnics, which I am. But they cover things like bomb tanks and things like that. Again, big stage pyrotechnics, big explosions in arenas for shows and things like that. So they are only available to people with specialist knowledge. So there we go. F1, 2, 3 and 4, T1 and T2. There's also P1 and P2, which are things like the things you get in your airbag, your car airbag. The pyrotechnic that detonates to make your airbag come out really quick. That's usually a P1. I'm not really aware of any P2 products, but they're sort of specialist pyrotechnics. They're not really available to anyone to buy. So that's a quick overview of the different categories of fireworks that we have available in the UK. Right, I know I've noticed a load of chat doing that as well. Let's scroll back up. Yeah, 3D Printer Guy was saying, are they F1? Yes, they are F1. Yes, it's direct fire. Yes, direct fireworks. Yes, I thought it was. So yes, I think someone will correct me again if I'm wrong. You used to be able to order in a Morrison store. They used to have leaflets for direct fireworks in the Morrison store. You could pick it up and fill your order in there and then come back and collect it. I think now, this year, you can only order your fireworks online on Direct Fireworks, and you can pick them up in Morrison's stores. So I think it has kind of changed. So so Morrison's have kind of phased out selling them themselves, but you can still get fireworks through Morrison's, pick them up at Morrison's effectively. So Sparky Power is back. Hi Mark, I missed yesterday's stream, but we'll replay it tomorrow. Yeah. How much have you got left to prep now? So on yesterday's stream, I did my 3 candle frames. Finish those off today off stream, so they're pretty much done, although I do need to still fuse all those. My 5 fountain boards for Liverpool are pretty much done, although I'm still waiting for my Vulcan fountains, which I'll get maybe tomorrow or the day after. I've just been doing my fountain boards for my Manchester display. I've started doing some cake prep. I've still got some more cake prep to do as well, so there's still plenty to do. And then of course I've actually got to design these shows. I've still got to come up with a firing order and program that all into my firing system and do all the testing and things. So there's loads to do. It's Monday now. My first display is on Sunday, and then I've got one on Tuesday. So yeah, there's loads to do. And some more live streams coming up throughout the week as well, as I do various bits and bobs. So yeah, welcome back, Sparky Power. And yeah, do catch up on yesterday's stream. We had a lot of fun on yesterday's stream. We have a lot of fun in all the streams, I think. So yeah, Baby Lisa say, all the public firework displays are cancelled again this year. Yes, all the council run ones in Manchester have been cancelled again this year, which is why I'm really excited to be able to do a community display in Manchester this year, because there's really nothing in the area. So really excited by that. Blue Nose says, I can't remember the name. That's about right. Okay, I think it was a blue box. Remember quite right. Okay. So Blue Nose and Bulletproof Mum are chatting. Selection boxes are my weakness. I know I'm usually being had, but they are such a nostalgia fun thing. I have a few too many stash. Yeah, and I like, that's it. It's all about nostalgia for me for selection boxes. The fireworks you get in selection boxes is generally not great. I mean, some selection boxes are really good. But I used to just like going out and getting a really small box. Like the small, a few years ago, I would just basically go around to all the supermarkets and buy their cheapest selection box just to have in, just because it's nostalgic, and I like to just look at all the fountains, take them all out, read all the instructions, because that's what I used to do as a kid. My dad used to take me to the newsagents. We'd look at all the boxes in the glass cabinets and pick one and take it home, and then I'd get it all out on the dining table and be looking at all the fireworks and stuff. And yeah, it's very nostalgic, selection box. It's probably the most nostalgic fireworks I think there are. Scores and Frozen says the Anthem box is branded as low noise, but yes, it has got little novelty pieces like crazy balls and ground spinners. Yes, I've got some ground spinners that I need to film and get some footage of as well. Just not had a chance. These are also from Vulcan. These are Cyclone spinners, 12 in a box. These are also category F1. These are little, they look like little kind of Catherine wheels, don't they? But you like these, they go on the ground and they spin round a little bit. Ground spinners. So yes, I need to film those and get some footage of those. And there'll be a review coming on my channel as well. Probably after Bonfire Night now, because I've got loads to do this week for these displays. But yes, those are the Cyclone spinners from Vulcan. Blue Nose says I'm the same with boxes. If I've not tried it, I have to buy it. The Anthem box, yes, is that all? Yeah, I think yes, I have seen the Anthem box. Well, that's everything's F1, isn't it? I think in there, which, you know, has its place. Has its place. The good thing about F1 fireworks, first of all, you've got to check, because it's very easy to think, oh, it's F1, I can use it indoors, because, you know, I can use party poppers indoors, I can use little cake, ice fountains and stuff indoors, so if anything's F1, I can use it indoors. No, that's not how it works. Some F1 products are outdoor use only, but the benefit of F1 is your spectators can be a lot closer, only like a metre away usually from that. You have to bear with me as well. I'm still full of catarrh. If you've been watching my streams last week, my throat is actually a little bit better than it was, but I'm still a bit bugged up. So let me just grab a drink. Right, apologies for that. There we go, I'm back. And Marco, what was your favourite growing up? Well, I don't know if I had a favourite selection box, but I had favourite brands. The brands I remember are Standard and Brock's. And I remember Brock's being a game changer for me, because they were the first fireworks I had that actually had visco fuse. Prior to that, everything had blue touch paper, which was just a nightmare and so unreliable and unpredictable and kept going out, and you didn't know fireworks were going to light. When Visco Fuse came along with Brock's fireworks, it was just a game changer. So I have fond memories of Brock's. In terms of my favourite firework, it's difficult to say. I do remember one that was quite good. It was by Black Cat, and it called Magnum Repeater. It was a candle. It was like an 8-shot candle. But back in the day, it was like one of the loudest candles you could get. I just remember being blown away by it. I mean, by today's standard, it's nothing, but back then it was quite impressive. So we're going back to the late 90s on that. I don't think you'd even get that anymore. But yeah, Magnum Repeater, it was called by, I think it was Black Cat. That was a good one. To be honest, I'd love an Anthem box to play with, but not at that price. Says Bulletproof Mum. David says oh, I've lost it. Where we go? Dad used to say that about jumping jacks or Jackie jumpers. For me, it was air bombs and bangers, even Whistler rockets. Yes, of course, air bombs and bangers have since been banned. You can't get them. You can still get fireworks that have, you know, loud effects and things, but you can't get bangers and air bombs and such anymore. Why? Because they were misused by a lot of people. I remember one Halloween when I was a kid, we had trick-or-treaters coming to the door, and my mum opened the door and said trick or treat, and my mum basically said no, and they threw a banger. Fortunately it didn't hit her, fortunately it didn't land in the house, but obviously it made a jump and wasn't very nice. So yeah, you know, there was a lot of antisocial behaviour around with bangers and air bombs and things like that. So no great loss really that they've been banned, because we have much better fireworks now anyway. So yeah, Blue Nose, I won't be buying it again. Just another one I've ticked off my list to try. Yes, I think we talked about the Anthem box there. Baby Lisa with the firework emojis. I was in Tesco today too, but no fireworks selling. Yes, we talked about this on one of the other streams. Tesco's is an odd one. They do sell fireworks, but from my experience, they only sell them between very restricted hours. My local Tesco, I think, sells them between like 11 and 1 p.m. and that's it. So if you go do shopping at 9 o'clock in the morning, tough luck. If you go shopping at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, tough luck. I know other ones where they stop selling them after 5 o'clock at night. So yes, it's a bit hit and miss. Whereas if you go to like Aldi or Lidl, you can pretty much buy fireworks any time of the day, and they're absolutely fine with that. So yeah, Tesco is a funny one. I noticed my e-matches are P1. Interesting. Yeah, I've not actually looked at my e-matches to see what category they are. But yes, e-matches P1. Interesting. Let me have a little look at my A box I've got here. Oh yeah, these are P1 as well. Yeah, interesting. There we go. Yes. Yeah, so these are some igniters I've got. These are 2 meter ones. But yes, they're category P1. These are Vulcan. These are Vulcan Pyro ones. Interesting. Yes, I hadn't actually read the label on these, but yeah, that's interesting. They're P1. Huh. There's actually lots of information. I'll read that properly off stream. I don't want to bore you by reading that all now. But yeah, that's interesting. So yes, igniters are P1. There we go. I learned something new. Squares and Frozen. Surely Morrison's moving to online selling just means hardly anyone will buy them. The only thing that makes me buy any supermarket fireworks is seeing them all in the cabinets and drawing me in. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it goes back to that nostalgia thing, doesn't it? Of like going into newsagents and corner shops and seeing all the boxes in the glass cabinets and being able to sort of look at the contents and decide. It's not the same way you just get a leaflet with a list of them on. You know, you want to be able to actually see these products. So yeah, I get that. I guess Morrison's are kind of trying to sort of please everyone. They still want to sell fireworks, but they don't want to make a big thing out of it because they don't want all the negativity from people that are against them selling fireworks, and so they kind of just do it quietly and through a third party, so they can kind of distance themselves from it and yet still provide the service through a third party. So yeah, Sparky Power sounds good. We'll try and catch the lives this week. Really enjoyed them. Thanks, Sparky Power. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is the 4th live stream I've done in the past 5 days, and they've all been over 4 hours long. We've been going an hour and a half so far, I think, on here, just over. We'll see how far we go tonight. As it sells fireworks from the 15th of October till the 24th of November. Yeah, that there is a limit. Unless you're an all year round retailer that has a license to sell fireworks all year round, then there are limits on when supermarkets and places like that can sell fireworks. And that's why you sometimes get these pop-up fireworks shops that appear literally like 2 weeks before bonfire night and then have disappeared and you never see them again, because there are restrictions on when fireworks can be sold. VSL Pyrotechnic says, what about Aldi? What about Aldi? Which bit are we talking about in Aldi? Yes, you can get fireworks from Aldi. Yes, jumping jacks may have been. That's right. Yeah, jumping jacks. Again, you can't get those anymore. They've been banned, which is quite interesting because I was actually quite surprised that you can get ground spinners now, like the ones that I showed before. Because one of the reasons jumping jacks got banned was because they were erratic. They kind of jumped about all over the place, hence the name jumping jacks. Ground spinners are quite erratic as well, but I guess they stay on the ground, they don't jump around, so that might be why they're allowed and jumping jacks aren't. But yes, I do remember jumping jacks, but sadly no longer available in the UK. I understand with antisocial behaviour, says David. Yes, I'm sorry that happened to you. Well, again, it happened to my mum, it didn't happen to me. So, but you know, that did highlight the fact that, you know, kids did get hold of bangers and air bombs. They would set air bombs off in the street, down little passageways and stuff, and, you know, trick or treating, they'd go around and throw bangers at people's houses and stuff. So I'm not saying that everybody, you know, it was all antisocial behaviour, but there was a lot of antisocial behaviour associated with bangers and air bombs. So I can understand why they got banned. And really, to me, it's no great loss because they weren't that great anyway. You can get much better fireworks than that now. So I love a good ground spinner. One took off once. Interesting. Yes, because in Europe you can get what we call girandolas. I have seen them in some professional displays over here as well. They are basically like a Catherine wheel, but it goes on the ground. But as it spins up in the air. They're also banned for consumers as well. One retailer tried to bring them in this year and has since removed them from their website because they realised that actually it was illegal to sell those in the UK. They are really impressive, but they're not legal, sadly. That's girandolas. So yes, there we go. Oh, we've caught up on chat. Great. And there's 21 of you here now, so welcome if you're new. My name's Mark. I'm in the UK. I'm in Manchester. I do fireworks. I do them professionally. I do them as a hobby as well. And if you're new and you like this, please click like. Tell YouTube that you like this stream, and please consider subscribing as well. That way you'll be notified whenever I go live or upload new videos. A lot of my videos are exclusive content, never before seen fireworks in the UK, landed footage, things like that. And we have a lot of fun on my channel as well. It's all safe, it's all family friendly. I don't do anything irresponsible or illegal with fireworks. And my channel is family friendly, as well are all my videos. So is that the one shop in the Leeds area, says 3D printer guy? Yeah, it's in that general area, yes. I won't name it, but I think you know who I'm talking about. Right, okay. That's right, we were putting some double-sided tape under these fountains, weren't we? Yeah, I mean, I'm all for supporting smaller, independent, specialist firework retailers, but, you know, do your research because there are some out there that are a little bit dodgy. I'm not going to name names on the stream. But yes, always do your research. Go there. Let's put some tape under here. That's good. Bit of tape under here. That's good. Do some tape under here. This is just to help prevent movement of the fireworks. The fireworks are going to be gaffer taped securely to these brackets that I put on a little bit earlier on in the stream. But I like to just put a little bit of this underneath as well, just gives it a bit more support. And I've reached the end of this roll. It's all right, I've got another roll somewhere. Let's see if I can use that. No, I'll save that piece for another time. Let's get a new roll of this. So yeah, I picked this up from Lidl a few weeks ago when it was on the middle of Lidl. It's 3M. I call it double-sided tape. It's actually called double-coated tape, technically. Sadly, only in 15-metre rolls, but at only £2 a roll, or £2.50 or whatever it is a roll, it's still good value. I go through lots of rolls of this a year, as you can imagine. A Bulletproof Mom says we know. Yes, yes. Yes, it's certainly something that we've mentioned on the forum. Those of you who are on the UK Firework Review Forum will know who we're talking about. Right, that's going to go on there. That's all that. Let's put a little bit under that one. Might be able to make use of this one under here. It's going there. That one's going to go there. Let's do a little bit under that. That's good. That's the second board done. So all I've got to do now on these boards, I say, is gaffer tape these all down to these brackets and fuse them. I'm going to do the fusing off stream. It's easier if I fuse these before I stick them down, which is why I haven't gaffer taped these down yet. But that's the second of the 5 boards with some double-sided tape under them. So let's put this one back down here and let's grab another one. Oh, and actually, yes, there's more stuff to go on these boards. I've just remembered. We'll do that in a few minutes when I get all the tape over this. So yes, on the back of these boards as well, there is going to be this screwed on, and this is going to have 2 candles on as well. So there is even more to go on these boards. These boards are going to be across the front of my display, raised up on speaker stands at a height of around about 2 meters. My width of my display is 16 meters, so these are going to be about 4 meters apart. The middle board is going to be flat. The ones either side are going to be at slight angles. The ones either side of that are going to be at even more angles. So everything's going to be kind of fanned out across a 16 meter width. And on the back of each of these is going to be a batten here that's going to have 2 candles on. It's going to have a Yorgi Dream 1 on and a Diamond Firestorm 140 shot on there as well. So we'll get those on in a bit. We'll get the rest of this double-sided tape in place first. What is the biggest shell you have ever used in a professional show? I think the biggest I've fired personally is 8 inches. I think that the largest ever fired in the UK, I think, is 16 inches. I think from memory, but the largest one I've fired is 8. Most professional shows will use like 4, 5, 6 inch shells. You don't really go much above 6. A lot of the competitions, for example, like I crewed on the not the Festival of Fireworks. What's the other one? The names escape me now. Maybe it is a Festival of Fireworks. No, it's not the Festival of Fireworks. What's the other competition, folks? The names escape me. It goes to like, there's about 8 of them across the year. There's one like Catton Hall, which is the one I crewed on. Firework Champions, there we go. Yes, I've just remembered, Firework Champions. So I crewed on that last year for one of the teams. And because it's a competition, there are restrictions, and I don't think you can use anything over a 5-inch shell in that show. So still impressive. You can get some really impressive 5-inch shells, but 8 inches the largest that I have personally fired. But hey, it's not all about size. You can get some great 4-inch shells, some great 3-inch shells, 2-inch shells that have got some really great effects in as well. So there we go. David says, I do remember the fireworks from years ago. My dad used to try and blow the pumpkin up with bangers. But yes. Well, yeah, that goes back to what I was saying about antisocial use of bangers, doesn't it? don't think that's what they're intended for, but I bet that looked quite spectacular anyway. Do you enjoy this time of year? Yeah, I love this time of year. It's my favourite time of year. I mean, you know, as a professional, I do fireworks all year round. It's not a day job. I don't make a living out of it. I kind of freelance. I crew for professional companies. So I do them all year round. But this time of year is extra special because it's bonfire night. And just that, you know, just being out in the dark and the autumn nights and seeing fireworks and hearing fireworks and so there's just something nostalgic about it. I love it. Bulletproof Mum, yes, David, we love giving our pumpkins a good Vikings funeral. Is that what we call it? Viking? I like that. Vikings funeral, albeit with fountains now, of course. Not recommended. Don't try this at home. Yes, don't try that at home, kids. 3D printer guy. Wow, that's cool. I shall be getting some 6 and 5 inches by the weekend with this experience I'm doing. Yes, that's right. I think you said you were getting some experience with a local professional firework display company. So it's great that they're going to give you some experience with shells. Shells are great to do. And of course, the only way you can do shells, because all shells are category F4 in the UK. I know it's different in America. In America, you can just go out and buy shells and get a mortar tube and let off shells. And over here, you can't. Consumers can't do that. Shells are category F4. All shells are category F4. So the only time you can fire shells is if you're working for a professional display company. 3D printer guy, I think it was a 16-inch. There are some photos. Yes, I thought it was a 16-inch, which is the largest that's ever been fired in the UK. It's not the largest that's ever been fired in the world. I'm sure China, there's a Guinness World Record for the largest diameter shell. I can't remember what it is, but it's big. But in the UK, I believe the biggest one that's ever been fired is 16 inches. So there we go. Right, let's bin that because that one's finished. And let's get some tape under these. This is a part of the process that's actually quite quick, like some of them. Did I put any tape under that middle one? On that one? I didn't, did I? No, I thought I didn't. Bear with me a second, folks. Just going to put some tape on this one that I missed. There we go. One of those back on there. That's good. I thought the world record was 48 or 60 inch. Yeah, it may well be. I know it's big. I believe it's 48 inches, says 3D printer guy. Yeah, I mean that's a massive shell. I mean, even the 8-inch one that I fired was, you know, that goes off with a bit of a thump when that goes up. So I can only imagine what a 48-inch shell must be like going off. Imagine the safety distance as well you need for that. 19 of you still watching as well on this Monday evening here in the UK. It's coming up to 20 past 11. Right, there we go. That's everything on that board with some double-sided tape under it. We'll put this to one side and we'll grab another one. There we go. Let me come around here, grab this one. So say all 5 of these boards are pretty much identical. The only variation is a couple of them have got an extra strobe on. And what got me into fireworks, I started by getting involved in pyrotechnics, stage pyrotechnics, back when I was at school. Because back then you could do stage pyrotechnics age 16. So back in school, I used to do like all the lighting and sound and stuff for all the shows, all the school dance productions and stage productions and all those kind of things. And one year we used some pyrotechnics in one of the dance competitions and not dance competitions, dance shows. And that was the first time I'd fired pyrotechnics. And I kind of been in love with it ever since. So that was my first kind of use of pyrotechnics back when I was 16. But prior to that, I mean, I'd always, as I mentioned earlier, I used to love at bonfire night, going across the road to the local corner shop with my dad and local newsagents, looking at selection boxes and buying one, taking it back home, opening it up on the dining table and getting all the individual fireworks out and sort of examining them and stuff. So yeah, that's how my love started. And you know, as a kid, my dad would fire them in the garden, we'd let them off, we'd have sparklers, it'd be a lot of fun. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. In terms of how I got into doing it professionally, well, it's kind of actually it's been part of my job. I work for myself, I'm freelance, I'm self-employed, I'm an event professional. What does that mean? It means I do lighting, I do sound, I do special effects, I do pyrotechnics, video, cameras, streaming, all those kind of things. And I've worked at quite a high level doing that. I've worked like at arena levels doing that. And one of my roles when I worked in the arena, I actually helped set up the Echo Arena. It's now the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool. So I was involved in kind of setting all that up. And one of my roles there was to sign off on all the pyrotechnics for incoming shows. So any concert that brought in pyrotechnics, they would have to demonstrate them to me before the show. And I'd have to, sign off to say, yeah, I'm happy that they're safe. So quite a big responsibility. But that's on the pyrotechnic side. And then on the fireworks side, I got involved crewing a couple of years ago now with a professional company. So yeah, that's kind of a bit about my background of fireworks. So crazy distances if you follow the 1 meter per millimeter rule. Yes, I was trying to work that out. I was like, how many millimeters are there in an inch? And then times that by 48, and I'm like, yeah, it's a big number. Why not recommendation with putting fireworks in pumpkins? Trust me, it's a good effect. Yeah, I mean, you could argue technically there's no safety instructions on fireworks to say don't put them in pumpkins, but it's kind of common sense, isn't it, really? Yes, but with fountains, nothing extreme, use them appropriately. Bulletproof mum, because we keep things safe in Mark's channel. Yeah, absolutely, yes. I say I'm all about promoting the safe and responsible use of fireworks. I know there are other firework channels out there around the world that do kind of crazy, obscure, illegal and downright dangerous things with fireworks. You're not going to get that on my channel. Sorry to disappoint you. I know other channels have got millions of subscribers and do all kinds of crazy things for views and stuff. I'm not about that. I don't really care about the views and the number of subscribers. I just want to share my passion with you guys and want to show you that fireworks can be safe and enjoyable if used responsibly. So that's what I'm all about. That's what this channel's all about. And I know that's what you guys like about my channel. So there we go. So we've got one more board to do with the double-sided tape after this, and then we'll get those battens on the back. We'll start assembling we'll put the candles on those battens first, and then we'll get those on the back of each of these boards. Okay, so that's going in there, like that. That's going in there. A little bit of tape under that one as well. Great, that's that board done. As far as I'm going to go with that tonight on that board. And then last but not least, there we go, look familiar? Yep, it's the same as all the other boards. So people just joining the stream thinking, what have I missed? What have I missed? Do you not? I'm doing the same thing over again 5 times. Do you have to ever, let's have a look, let's just see. Do you ever have to reject any pyro that they wanted to use in their shows? No, I don't think I ever needed to. You know, most of these, they are professionals. They tour these shows around, they go to arenas and stuff. There have been ones where they've actually had to take pyro out because of reduced height of things. Because obviously each arena is different. Some arenas have got higher ceilings than others. The Liverpool arena was about 18 metres, I think, up to the gantries. So there were some shows that they'd have to adapt, but they'd adapt that before they even got to the venue because they'd know the height of the venue in advance. So there was nothing where on the actual safety kind of check I had to say, sorry, you can't use that. Have you experienced with show lasers too? Yes, that was another part of my role at the arena. So not only was I signing off pyrotechnics, I was also signing off lasers for the shows as well. So yes, I do have experiences with lasers. I've done courses on laser safety, which are very, very technical, very mathematical, and yeah, a bit mind-blowing. But yes, I do have experience with lasers as well. So what I get up to myself, though, I live, yes, that's absolutely right. Bulletproof Mum. David says I'm still the same. I miss the corner shops and newsagents. Remember when I was a kid, Mum and Dad bought a deer firework, asked the family to come around, and it was Roman candles. And yes, I have seen more. Hang on, where was that? I missed that. I have seen some more crazy videos of people misusing fireworks. It does make me question some. Yeah, and it's frustrating really, because you know I do see that a lot on YouTube, and these channels have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers, and they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And they keep doing stuff because it gets views, and it's just really frustrating that a little YouTuber like me, who isn't really doing it for the views and stuff, but my channel just kind of plods along. But it's frustrating when I see videos of fireworks being misused and dangerous use and illegal use getting loads and loads of views, and it's a shame. It's sad. Okay, right. Here's a question. Oh, where was it? Questions from people. Yes. Okay. It's ads. I hope I've pronounced that right. It's ads. Welcome in. It's ads says, what's the difference between 1.3G and 1.4G? Okay. 1.3G and 1.4G. Let's talk about that. So let's see if I've got a box that's got 1.3G on and a box that's got a 1.4G on. Okay. This box has a 1.4G logo. You might have seen that. It's a fairly standard symbol. It's not just a British symbol. You'll find that all around the world. 1.4G. I've probably got some boxes that have 1.3G on. Let me have a little look, see if I can easily put my hands on one. Might not be able to, but let's have a little look. 1.4. 1.4. What's that one? That one's 1.4 as well. See if I've got I must have a one, but I do have some 1.3 ones. I know I do. Whether I can put my hands on them straight away. Has this one got 1.4 now? That's 1.3. That's 1.4. 1.4. 1.4. Typically, I don't seem to have any 1.3 G ones to hand. Oh, here's a 1.3G. I do. There we go. This is a flat pack box. So it's not actually assembled. I do keep all these boxes because they're useful for transporting fireworks. So there's the 1.3G symbol. Also has that kind of explosive thing on it. So what's the difference between 1.3G and 1.4G? 1.3G effects are more powerful. There's potential for them to explode, so they are more hazardous. So 1.3G, 1.4G are hazard classes. You can also get 1.1G. Technically, you can get 1.2G, but you don't really see that. And it's basically about storage. There are limits to how much 1.3G and how much 1.4G fireworks you can store at any one time. So 1.3G are more volatile. They're still safe, don't get me wrong, they're safe, but if they go wrong, then they are more, the explosive risk is greater and more powerful than if a 1.4G firework explodes. So the rules about what you can store is quite complicated. As a general rule, you can store any amount of 1.3 or 1.4G for up to 24 hours, an unlimited amount. You can store up to 5 kilograms of 1.3G fireworks for up to 5 days continuously at the place of intended use. For 1.4G, I think you can store, I think it's 21 kilograms of explosives for up to 21 days. I mean, I've got to remember this. It gets complicated. I'll pull up the details and I'll make sure that I get this absolutely right, so that I don't give you wrong information. Bear with me a second, folks. Okay, here we go. Right. Someone actually might be able to fill me out. I know you can store it for 21 days. Oh, there it is. No, that's not the one I wanted. Storage. Okay, there we go. Right. Okay, so 1.4G fireworks, you can store up to 5 kilograms for an unlimited time. So you can store them for years and years and years. No issue with storing up to 5 kilograms of net explosive content of 1.4G. You can store up to 50 kilograms of 1.4G net explosive content for up to 21 consecutive days, provided that you're not selling them. Okay, so you could have 21 kilograms of 1.4G classification fireworks. You could store them for up to 21 days consecutively, as long as you don't sell them. Or you can have up to 250 kilograms of net explosive content, 1.4G, and you can store for up to 5 consecutive days at their intended place of use. Those are the rules for 1.4G. For 1.3G, which are more volatile, you can store up to 5 kilograms of net explosive content of 1.3G for an unlimited time, or up to 100 kilograms net explosive content of 1.3G for up to 5 consecutive days at place of use. And you can store any amount of either for up to 24 hours. But if you combine them, so if you have some fireworks that are 1.3G and some fireworks that are 1.4G, they are all classed as 1.3G if you keep them all together. Okay, so if you've got a kilogram of 1.3G fireworks and 5 kilograms of 1.4G fireworks, they are classed effectively as you've got a total of 6 kilograms of 1.3G. So I say it gets really complicated. There are limits. Because I'm doing these two displays, I do go over those limits. So the way I don't say I get around those, but basically not all the fireworks for my display are in this garage right now. I have fireworks at another house and another, so the fireworks are split up so that I don't go over any of the limits. So for example, there's no 1.3G in my garage right now. Everything in my garage is 1.4G. All my 1.3G bits are in another property. And that way I don't, because otherwise everything would be classed as 1.3G, and so I would have gone over the limits. So the way it is at the moment, yes, I've got a lot of fireworks here, but it's all 1.4G, so it's all legal because it's all less than the 50 kilograms of net explosive content you're allowed of 1.4G, and it's all going to be used within 21 days because my displays are coming up next week. So It's complicated with the regulations, but that's kind of where they are. Hopefully that made some sense. Right, let's see where we are on the chat. Craig says there's some pride in doing fireworks safely and keeping people safe while putting on a show. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. I totally agree with that. Bulletproof Mum says, yeah, I love the displays in newsagents and the public service ads promoting the firework code. Oh, yeah, some of those were actually quite... I remember those public service ads, and they were actually quite scary. You probably actually wouldn't be allowed to show them these days, but yes, back in the 80s and 90s, they would show public information films, you know, on TV about fireworks safety and the dangers of fireworks. And they actually worked. They kind of scared kids off from messing with fireworks because they saw the effects of what happens, you know, if you mess around with fireworks. We don't have those adverts anymore, those public information films. And to be fair, they'd probably be outraged if they showed something like that, as graphic as that, on TV now, pre-Watershed. But yes, I do remember those as well, Bulletproof Mum. 3D printer guy, I might be wrong, but is crowd scanning set to 3 meters at a minimum for safety? I may be wrong. So crowd scanning, basically, you can't do crowd scanning with lasers. In terms of the height, I'm not aware that there is a minimum, but you just can't do crowd scanning. So you've got to make sure that your lasers cannot go down into the audience. And you can do that either through the software, but you also need a hardware, a physical way of stopping that. So normally when, I know we're kind of going off on a tangent here, but where a laser outputs, the little window it outputs from, you can have some physical masking put in place there so that the laser can't actually go below that part of the window and actually go into the crowd. So yes, audience scanning is a definite no-no. It's not allowed. It's that simple. David said my dad did it with bangers years ago. I didn't mean nothing about this. He was yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's fine, David. Absolutely. You never use fireworks dangerously. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, David. That's fine. Less education. Remember the Blue Peter display with all the safety chat before? More of that and less about it. Yes. I also remember, do you guys remember the infamous Blue Peter accident with pyrotechnics when they set fire to, which Blue Peter presenter was it now? Blonde hair. Somebody will remind me. I can picture. Anthea Turner, that's right. It is actually shown in a lot of safety training that I've done. I think I was shown it. I did some fire safety training with Merseyside Fire and Rescue a number of years ago now, and they showed the video there. There was an episode of Blue Peter where Anthea Turner was sat on the back of a truck, a big 40-foot truck, and there was a motorcycle inside that was going to sort of ride out, and when it came out, it was going to burst through and there was going to be pyrotechnics, and she was sitting very close to a pyrotechnic, and it went off, and she was fine, she was okay, but it was a close call. So do I remember the Hail and Pace adverts? Yes, I do. Yes, with the management. Yes, I do remember those safety videos. Yes. They did the job though, they're memorable. We remember them to this day, and that was 30 plus years ago, and you can still remember them, I can still remember them. So they were hard-hitting adverts. Fireworks are different to the old days. They really are. Fireworks are better, I think, now. The colours are certainly a lot brighter and more vivid than you used to get. Back when I was growing up, you very rarely saw blue in a firework. Yes, you could get some blue coloured sparklers, but blue wasn't really a colour you'd see in fireworks, and if you did, it'd be very, very dim. These days, the chemical processes are much more refined, and so the effects, the colours you get are much better these days. Bulletproof Mars, meanwhile, yeah, Helen Place, yes, absolutely, yeah. I feel the focus now is on don't rather than do but safely. Yeah, that's a very good point, actually, yeah. Very interesting. I have a tiny Laser World laser 230 milliwatts. That's quite bright. And it's DMX, good fun to create little sequences with. Yeah, absolutely. And the way you can do that safely, as I say, is have some masking over the window. If you're using it, if you're pointing it towards an audience, have some physical masking so that even if the laser malfunctions or your program is wrong or whatever, your DMX control, even if the laser beam was to go down towards the audience, there'd be a physical block to stop it getting towards your audience. Right, I think we're caught up on chat. Hopefully that explanation on 1.3 and 1.4G made sense. It is complicated. Well, that's essentially the difference. It's all about storage. There are rules on transport as well, but that's even more complicated. So I won't even get into that. I mean, realistically, though, guys, you're not going to be transporting a significant amount of fireworks that's going to cause you issues. You know, you have to be carrying like more than 50 kilograms of explosives in your car for it to start triggering ADR and all kinds of other requirements. A 3D printer guy says, thanks Mark, I'm going to make some changes to make it that little bit safer. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's always good to have that extra safety. I mean, you know, a lot of lasers, the software that it comes with has safety things built in, but really, you know, software can malfunction, software can go wrong, so it's always good to have that secondary physical barrier so that the laser can't go into the audience at all. It's physically stopped even if it tries to. So right, so we've nearly done this board now, I think. Let's put that back on there. Let's put that on there. Did I do any under that one yet? No, let's put a little bit under there. Like that. Oh, that's a little bit loose, that frame tie. Let's just tighten that up a touch. That's better. And then a little bit under the strobe. Ollie Clack is here. Hi Marco, I've just joined. I remember several years back when we had a small F2 cake misfire and fire into the neighbour's shed roof. Thankfully nobody was hurt, but it taught us to use bigger stakes. Yeah, absolutely, yes. Yeah, as I say, you can never have too many stakes or too much gaffer tape. And, you know, quite often it is the smaller cakes that actually have the most issues with. Which is surprising. You think the bigger cakes would have, you know, would do more damage, and potentially if they go wrong they will, but bigger cakes tend to be a little bit more stable. Smaller cakes can have a more of a tendency to topple over than the bigger ones. So yeah, more stake the better. That's a hashtag, isn't it? Hashtag more steak the better. Somebody's going to compile a list of these random hashtags that we encounter on these streams. Right, there's that board done. So let's put that out of the way for now, and then we'll do the little candle things that are going to go on the backs of these boards. And again, because these boards are going to be angled, if you weren't around on the stream earlier on, those boards, there's going to be 5 of them along the front of my site for my Manchester display, fairly high. They're going to be about 2 meters high. The middle one's going to be flat. The ones either side are going to be at slight angles, and the ones either side of that are going to be even steeper angles. So everything on those boards are going to fire together, and it's going to be like fanned 5 ways. So it should look quite good. On the back of those boards, as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a batten screwed on that's going to have 2 candles on as well. So of course they're going to be at the respective angles of those boards as well. So let's get these so 5 of these. I think I labelled them. I did label them, yes. That's number 2, number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that one the right way, that one the right way, that one the right way, that one the right way. When I label stuff as well, so my firing sights, my 5 fountain tables are going to be called F1 to F5, and I always start on the left side as the audience look at it. So as you look at the display, F1 is going to be on the far left, F1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Same with the candles, so the candles behind it are going to be candle 1, 2 and 3, and then cakes 1, 2 and 3 as well. So I always like to put little labels on as well, little arrows. So when I know when I put a red arrow on, that's the direction the audience are going to be facing. So like on here, I'm going to put the candle at the back. I know this is going to be facing the audience this way. So those little arrows are just kind of for my benefit. And I have been putting these, we talked about these on the candle stream yesterday. These are little cable tie mounts, screw-in ones. I got these off Amazon. You can get ones with double-sided, like sticky pads on. They're not going to really work with fireworks. These, though, I can screw them down and put cable ties through. So rather than cable tying around the wood, I can cable tie onto these. And they work really quite well. If you saw my stream yesterday, we used quite a lot of those. And they worked really well. They are Ollie Clark, hashtag the more stakes the better. 3D printer guy, hashtag more stakes the better. Love it. Did any of you have the little stars pack by, I think, Royal Party? I'm not sure on that, but they were very small and very punchy. I had friends, they didn't take me seriously about stakes, and yeah, they all bounced all over the lawn. Great little 9-shot cake, but absolutely needs staking. Yeah, I don't remember the little stars pack. No, but yes, this is it. Sometimes small cakes can be deceiving. There can be a lot of power in them, and there can be a lot of recoil, and they can, if you don't secure them properly, they can topple over. Right, let's see what we're putting on here. So on these, we're going to be using these Yorgi candles. These are Dream 1. Not as big as the Storm 3s and Storm 4s that we put on these ones. They're kind of like 2/3 the size. Same bore size, though, I think 21 mil. Let me just check. I think it says the... yeah, 21 mil. These are 5-shot as well. So these ones were they 8-shot, 10-shot? I can't actually remember now. 8-shot, they're 8-shot. These are only 5-shot, so they're not as long. The effects are described as red tail, golden tail with blue tip, brocade tail, silver glitter tail with red tip, time rain tail and blue tip. So 5 completely different shots in here, whereas these ones are all, well, actually they had different colours in as well, didn't they? Only 5 shots in these. So these are going to go on, I think probably on the side of these, like that. So we'll cable tie those on. They come in a pack of 4, 4 identical candles, but they've got those different shots in. So they've got some nice tails on them, a bit like the Storm 3, which has nice tails. Storm 4 has nice colours, but doesn't have the comet tails on the shots, whereas Storm 3s do. Dream 1s have the comet tails on as well, but they're slightly smaller candles, which will work quite well on these boards. So we've got 5 of those to go on, and then also I'm going to put in a diamond firestorm candle. Now, if you're regular to my channel, you'll know the backstory behind these. If you're new to my channel, you probably don't. I'll just do a quick recap. Last year on these streams, we were talking, somebody in the chat asked, you know, what's your favourite brand of fireworks? What's the worst brand of fireworks? And I basically said, look, there's no such thing as a bad firework. Yes, there's brands that I don't use because I think they're not as good quality. I call them value brands rather than cheap brands. But there's no such thing as a bad firework. And I thought after the stream, I'm like, okay, I've said that. I kind of need to stand by that now. So I went out the next day and bought some fireworks from a value brand. This is Diamond Fireworks. I'd never really used them in my displays before last year, but I picked up these last year, Firestorm 140 shot candles. They're about £3 each. I'm like, yeah, they're quite cheap. Let's see if they hold up against the likes of Celtic and Vivid products and things like that, more professional ones. So I got some of these last year, put them in my display, and actually they were all right. On their own, one of these candles is pretty rubbish. It's 140 shots of like red and green pearls. Not brilliant, but I used quite a few in my display last year together, simultaneously firing Vs, and in fact it might have been firing Ws, I think, last year. And they looked okay. So these are only £3. You usually get these around £3–4. They're not that expensive. Only 39.2 grams of powder in here. So not a lot when you consider there's 140 shots. They don't reach a particularly great height, but I'm going to use 5 of these in the display across that 16 metre wide frontage. And again, these are going to be at the angles of the boards. So 5 of them together. We'll see. My audience is going to be 50 metres away. It's quite far away. These don't reach a particularly great height, but I'm not going to use them on their own. They'll be used with other things to kind of, they might even be used as part of the finale. We'll see, to kind of fill the sky a bit. But it's just adding that extra layer into my display. So I've got 5 of these to go on here as well. Let's catch up on chat. 3D printing guy, I was looking at 3D printing some of those clips, but strength was an issue. And they're like, yeah, that's a very good point, actually. Yes, that's a very, yes, because we said, well, why don't you 3D print some on the stream, didn't we, yesterday? And yeah, that's a very good point, actually. But the technology is improving all the time. I think 3D printing technology will get to a stage where you can print things that are, you know, solid and rigid and would hold up to having cable ties pulled tight on them. Bulletproof Film, yeah, Royal Party about 11 years ago apparently just found an old Galactic video for them. They're obviously memorable to me, yes. I can't say, I don't think I ever fired any Royal Party stuff. Right, let's get some more of these candles out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 Dream Ones and 5 Firestorms to go on here. I don't think I'm going to need my screwdriver for that, so we can put that there. Let's get these candles out of the way. First we'll do the Dream Ones. First and foremost, let's open this pack. These are a little bit different as well to the Storm 3s and Storm 4s. Storm 3s and Storm 4s had like cellophane on the top. In fact, I can show you one because there's one here. Cellophane on the top of them, like that, you can kind of see. Whereas the Dream Ones, they have like the tissue paper over the top. So interesting why they're different. I don't know why, because they're both Yorgi, both same bore size. So I don't know, but yeah, one's got the red cellophane, one's just got the tissue paper down the top. And these are going to go on the side of these, so like that. Let's turn all these round, make it easier to do. Let's spin that. Let's see if there's any information on here that's of use or of interest. So yeah, Dream 1 or Yorgi, the product code is JRC33/1. They do a Dream 2. They might, I think they probably do a Dream 3 as well. I was only able to get hold of the Dream Ones. But I do like Yorgi products in general. Their candles are really quite good. There's not that many decent F2 candles out there. But these ones are, I think, not bad. So let's get rid of that. Okay. So I need some cable ties. These ones will do. I'm going to cable tie these on through these little mounts. One like that. Do them tight, but don't do them too tight. We talked about this on my stream yesterday when we were looking at the other candles. There is a risk that if you pull cable ties too tightly around a candle, you can deform the tube, and that in turn can prevent the shots from being ejected, and instead they explode in the tube and your candle kind of disintegrates, explodes. So always be mindful of that when you are putting cable ties on. That's a thicker one. When you're putting cable ties on to candles. The other thing you can do, of course, is gaffer tape candles instead. I will cable tie and then gaffer tape over them, just like double kind of insurance. But there's not a lot of recoil from these. They're not particularly big candles. 21mm bore, which is not that big. They're only category F2. There's only 5 shots in them, so paper's kind of coming off this one a little bit. It's fine. it will still do the job. And as we said on the stream yesterday, always make sure you get your candles the right way round. This is probably the one firework that people get the wrong way round the most. Most candles will have like a direction of firing arrow on them somewhere. That's the way you need, pointing upwards. But yes, if you set up a candle the wrong way round, it's going to fire shots into the ground rather than up, and yeah, not be good. I do actually like how Yorgi put this on a lot of their products as well. They put the that little symbol. It's not an official symbol. It's not a universally recognised one, but it's basically showing an alcoholic drink or a glass of wine plus a bomb with a line through. So it's basically saying don't drink whilst you're using fireworks. I mean, it's common sense, but people do. You know, it's bonfire night. You've got friends around. You're having a bit of a bonfire party. You're letting off some fireworks. You have a bit of a drink. You don't do it. If you're firing fireworks, don't drink. Even if you've got friends around, drink after your fireworks are finished. Don't drink before you're doing fireworks or whilst you're doing fireworks. It's not safe. I'm sure I'm preaching to the converted anyway here, but yeah, just in case anybody's watching this and thinks, oh yeah, let's have some friends around and get some few beers in and things. Yeah, alcohol and fireworks don't mix. So yeah, these Dream 1 candles, 31 grams net explosive content. So divide that by 5, which doesn't divide that easily, does it? But I'll give you an indication of how much power is in each shot. So not massive candles. But we were talking about this on the stream yesterday or the other day. Sometimes, you know, you can get good effects by using smaller fireworks in multiples, and it can also work out a lot cheaper as well. You know, when you think like a pack of 4 of these was maybe 4 quid, 5 quid. Of course, I've got 5 here, so you know, for £5 or £6, I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 shots. I've effectively got a 25 shot cake for about 6 quid. But rather than the cake just all being together, it's going to be spread out over 16 meters, all going off at angles. So, you know, you can kind of weigh those things up, and actually candles can give you some really quite creative effects. You can fill more of the sky potentially with candles than you can with some straight firing cakes. There we go, and the last one on here. Let's have a look. Ollie Clack says about 8 years ago we had a really strange misfire with a cake. The entire thing went in 1 second with one almighty bang, but nothing came out of the cake. It even split the sand bucket clean in 2. So, okay, what was that? Probably if nothing came out of the cake, probably what would have happened was the first shot in that cake didn't eject, it got trapped. So the tube was probably damaged on that first tube, causing that first shot to explode inside the tube. That explosion triggered all the other shots. Why none of them came out? Unless all the shots were damaged, are you sure the firework wasn't upside down? That would be the other thing to check. It might be that the cake was upside down. It's unusual to have a firework misfire like that and nothing come out of it. So all I can think is maybe your cake was upside down, perhaps, and it all fired into the ground, or tried to fire into the ground, maybe. And that would be my initial view of that. I heard a story where someone just stood the candle on flat ground and then when it fell, thought it was malfunctioning. Yeah, I mean, you know, these candles are not designed to just stand up. They need external support. Most of them will say, you know, requires external support. I don't know if these ones will. Of course, all the instructions on there are in Polish. Let's see if the English instructions are on here. No, I have them in Hungarian, Italian, French, Latvian, Polish, German, and I don't know which one that one is, Norwegian maybe. So no, I don't actually have them in English on there either, interestingly. But yeah, Roman candles, a couple of things. They don't stand up. I mean, I can possibly stand that one up maybe. Yeah, okay, I can stand that one up, but as soon as you light that, the force of it is going to topple over. It is going to topple over, I guarantee you. So always secure your candles. If you don't have candle frames like this, the way you can do it is hammer a stake into the ground, garden cane, something like that for smaller candles, or a bigger stake. Hammer it into the ground, put that up against it, put your garden stake or whatever, the audience size. If your audience are here, you do your stake here. And then this, cable tie it to it, gaffer tape around it. You could even use string to tie it to it. The reason you do your stake that side is because there's absolutely no way that can fall forward to the audience. And if it is going to fall, it's either going to fall away or to the sides, but it can't fall towards your audience. That's the best thing to do with those. What another little tip I will say, if you're going to use these on grass and you're going to stake them into the ground, and you're not going to light it straight away, so if you're setting your fireworks up in the afternoon and then lighting them later, these are susceptible. This just has like a paper bottom on. These are susceptible to moisture coming up. I mean, you can actually, I have seen, you can actually bury these in the ground. I don't like doing that because if you force this into the ground, you can damage the tube at the bottom. I've seen it done though. But even if you just stand that on grass and you stake next to it, there is a danger that groundwater can seep into here and make this wet inside. If a candle gets wet, or indeed if a cake gets wet, it can malfunction, or it can mean that the shots don't break as high in the sky as they're meant to. They break lower, which can be dangerous. So if you're going to do this, I'd put a bit of cling film, sarin wrap, whatever, or stand it in a plastic bag or whatever, then put it on the ground, and then stake and tape it, or stake and cable tie it. Keep it nice and dry at the bottom. Do I ever sleep? Marco Joseph is here, by the way. Just made it in. Yeah, welcome in, Joseph. It's 5 to midnight here. We've been going 2.5 hours so far. Do I ever sleep? I get a little bit of sleep every now and then. I have a 3-year-old daughter, which kind of means I get very little sleep in general anyway. But I've got so much prep to do for these shows that, yeah, I'm doing quite a lot of work at the moment. Precisely why I have my New Year's fireworks early, then watch yours and neighbours at midnight. Yeah, yes, I remember you doing that, don't you? Yeah, you have them earlier in the evening and then you can enjoy mine at midnight. And if you're new to my channel, folks, yeah, I will be going live, all being well, New Year's Eve. I usually go live, I think, about 11:15 UK time. And we see in the new year, we let off fireworks live on YouTube to see in the new year at midnight UK time. And it's always a lot of fun, those streams. So hopefully you can join me for that on New Year's Eve. That's 3 different fireworks now, says a 3D printer guy. Ollie says, I'm pretty sure it was the right way up. There was a sort of shower of sparks, but nothing in the air. It was a long time ago. Bulletproof Mum said it could have quite possibly been a fountain. Yeah, possibly. It's just unusual that if a fountain explodes or a cake explodes, that nothing really comes out of it. That's unusual. But hopefully nobody was hurt and everything was safe. And yeah, we learn from those things. Right, let's do this last Dream 1 candle. Start at the top, really. Okay, so those are the 5 Dream Ones, nice and secure on there. You know, I can hold that by that and it's not coming off. As I say, I will put a little bit of gaffer tape around. I'll trim these down and put a bit of gaffer tape around them as well, just to prevent any up and down vertical movement on these, because as you can see, they're not going to fall off, but there is a little bit of up and down movement on there. So by putting a bit of extra gaffer tape over where those cable ties are, it will stop any movement. For now though, I'm just going to trim off the excess on those cable ties with my snips. You don't have to do this, it just kind of makes it a little bit neater. If you watched my candle prep stream yesterday, you've seen I used lots of cable ties. Trimmed all those down as well, now they're a lot neater. Still got to fuse all that lot, but the excess cable ties are out of the way now and it's looking a lot neater. Norfolk Pyro is here. Hello, welcome back in, Norfolk Pyro. Nice to have your company here this evening. Bulletproof Mum, yeah, I've had a cone go, a few sparks, then boom. Yeah, it sounds like it could have been a cone, maybe, yeah. Yes, I've had cones explode before, and yeah, they go with a bit of a bang. Even the small ones. Fortunately, I've never had a big cone, like, you know, a 13-inch, 11-inch cone or whatever go. I think the ones I had before was 4.5-inch, might have been 6-inch. But yeah, that went with a bit of a bang. But that's why we have safety distances on fireworks. As long as your spectators are a minimum distance away, according to the instructions on the fireworks, then even if a firework malfunctions, your spectators should still be safe. Right, so those are the Dream 1 candles on there. Next to get on are the Firestorms. Did I have any Firestorms on those ones? No, because I'm using the one here, that's right. So they are going to sit on here. Again, making sure it's really easy to get these the wrong way round. These diamond ones, yes, they do have, there's the arrow showing firing direction, so I know which way these need to go. Like that. Like that. And like that. There we go. Ollie says, like you said, thankfully nobody was hurt. We always lift fireworks to significantly larger distances than recommended safety distances. It was more like a depth charge than a firework. Yeah, it does happen. Fireworks do malfunction. And yeah, safety distances on fireworks are minimum. If you can get your audience further away, even better. Say this display I do in Liverpool is really quite limited on space, which is why I limit it to smaller fireworks. Everything's f2 or f1 or t1, and I don't do some of the bigger, because you can get some really big f2 stuff now with 30mm bore tubes, which 30mm is actually the largest bore you can get on cakes, on barrages in the UK for consumers, and I intentionally don't use any 30mm on that smaller display in Liverpool. I will be using some 30mm tubes for the display in Manchester, but that's because I'm firing that from a football pitch. I've got a bit more space to play with. Josie says, greetings Norfolk Pyro, my fellow six-toed wonder. Oh, yes, I'm with you. Right. Yeah, thanks. Yes, so I think we've kind of maybe got to the bottom of that for you, Ollie. Like you say, that was a long time ago, and fortunately nobody was injured, so it's all good. 3D printer guy says, take care, Mark, got to sleep now, got work today. But see you on your next live. Good night, everyone. 3D printer guy, thanks for being here again. Thanks for your company. Thanks for being on all my live streams so far over the last 5 days. Really appreciate you being here, and hopefully you found it entertaining, enjoyable, and fun and educational as well. So hope work goes well for you tomorrow as well, and see you on another stream soon, I've no doubt. So thanks, 3D printer guy. And welcome to everyone if you're still here. If you've been watching the whole 2 hours 40 I've been streaming, you're very welcome. I know some of you have been here since the start. Some of you just joined probably recently. Don't know who I am. My name is Mark. I'm in the UK. I do fireworks. That's what my channel's about. Fireworks, safe, responsible use of fireworks. I try to give some tips and some handy hints of how to do things safely, how I do things. Doesn't mean my way is the only way to do things safely. But I know some of you guys have found some useful information and hints and tips from my channel, from my streams, and have gone on to use those in your own displays, which is amazing to hear. There we go. So those are my little battens. Are going to be on the back of my 5 fountain tables for my Manchester display. They're going to be at 90 degrees to the fountain tables, but of course the fountain tables themselves are going to be at angles on the stand. So there's going to be a centre one like that, and one like that, and the same on the other side, spread across 16 meters. Should look okay. Let's cut the excess off these. Oh, I've got one more to do here. I've not done. I've missed one. Molly Clark says, thank you everyone for your help. I'd rather not repeat that incident like that again. Yeah, absolutely. Firework malfunctions do happen. I've had them happen. They do happen. It's rare, but you know, they do happen. And sometimes they can be quite spectacular. But as long as you've done everything you possibly can to mitigate the chances of anything going wrong, you know, for example, like, you know, staking on the right side of cakes, making sure cakes can't topple over, things like that, making sure your safety distances are there, then, you know, you'll have done everything you possibly can to minimize the likelihood of any malfunction doing any injury to anyone or any damage to any property. And that's one of the, we spoke about this on one of the other streams about, you know, do I use rockets in my displays? I don't use rockets in any of my public displays. I do fire rockets, you know, but not in any of my public displays, because I think the risk is just too great. They have erratic flight, and then you've got a stick that's got to come down somewhere, and potentially part of a rocket as well that's got to come down somewhere, especially if it's a big rocket. And that's why you shouldn't see, you won't see rockets used in any professional displays really these days. But they are still a novelty, you know. I do have that nostalgic kind of, I love the sound of a rocket kind of launching and the whoosh you get as it goes up. So yeah, they are kind of a bit of a nostalgic thing. So I don't have anything against rockets. It's just I don't use them in any of my public displays because I just don't think it's particularly safe. So what's your favourite rocket if you had to, there, I'm talking about rockets. What's your favourite rocket if you had to pick one? It's difficult. Out of the ones I fired, what have I fired recently? I fired quite a few, and you'll find those rocket reviews on my channel. There's a whole playlist on rockets. I think possibly the VSR4s from Vivid, the ones that I remember most recently, because I fired loads last year. They were quite impressive. The Pyroworks ones are the biggest ones of those. The, what were they called? I can't remember what Pyroworks' biggest rockets were called, but they were pretty good. But even something like this last week gone, I fired some new Celtic rockets. They were called Invaders. Packet of 5 rockets, I think, little ball head rockets, 1-inch ones. They were really impressive. Go check out the review of those on my channel. Those might be my favourite kind of garden rockets because they're only F2 to date. They were really impressive. So yeah, bigger is not always necessarily better. I do generally prefer rockets that have got a ball head on, because generally speaking, you get a more spherical burst. They look a bit nicer. But yeah, overall, I'm not like a big fan of rockets. I like rockets, but I wouldn't say, you know, I'm fanatical about rockets. They have their place, but I know people rave about the funky rockets. I haven't yet to fire any of them myself. I think the Alpha 1 has won the best single rocket award in the UK Firework Awards for like the past 2 years. So they sound impressive. They look impressive from the video, but I've yet to actually fire any myself to be able to give you my opinion on them. So hopefully that one day will change and I'll get to fire some funky stuff and be able to put it on my channel and review it for you guys, but we'll see. Sparky Power got a Shrieker rocket from Brothers this year for the first time. Have you ever fired one of those? I haven't, but Brothers have got some interesting ones, because I think Brothers, are they the ones that have done the Halo rocket as well, which looks really good? Not fired those yet, but yeah, the Halo rocket actually kind of bursts into a ring, which is quite unusual in a consumer firework. You tend to get those kind of effects in shells and things like that. So to see that ring effect in a consumer firework was quite impressive. Or looks quite impressive from the China footage. I haven't actually fired them myself yet, but yes, no, I haven't tried those Shrieker rockets yet from Brothers. So yeah, let me know what you think when you fire those. Okay, those are now done. Say nice and secure. They're not going to fall off. I will put some gaffer tape over those as well, to be doubly sure. So right, let's take stock of where we're up to with my prep for these displays. So my fountain boards are done for my Liverpool display, with the exception of the little Vulcan fountains, which I'm getting later this week. That's not going to take me long to put those on. My fountain boards are done for my Manchester display, although I need to tape them all down and fuse them. My candle frames are done for my Manchester display. Everything's attached, but I need to fuse them. I've started doing a bit of cake prep off stream, but I do still need to do some more cake prep and waterproof some of those fireworks and skim them. But we're getting there. We're slowly getting there. I still need to program my displays. I still need to design my displays, the firing order for each. Get that programmed into my firing system and test that out. So there's still plenty to do. It's Monday now. My first display is on Sunday, and then I've got one on Tuesday. So time's ticking on. There's still quite a bit to do. Yes, seen a video for these, say Sparky Power, yes. So yeah, that's kind of where we're up to. That's kind of what I wanted to get done on this stream. What time is it? 12:15. What do you think, guys? Should we go a little bit longer, or should we call it quits tonight and do some more tomorrow? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. We can maybe go a little bit longer if you guys want, or we can do some more tomorrow. As I say, I've still got some some cake prep I need to do. I've got quite a lot of cake prep actually. This table that I'm using, this temporary table, is an OSB board. OSB stands for Oriented Stranded Board. Yes, that's right. Because the display I'm doing in Manchester is on a football pitch, a soccer pitch. So normally I would stake and tape cakes. So I'd ram stakes into the ground and secure cakes to them with tape. I obviously can't do that on a professional football pitch. So I'm having to use cake boards instead, which are going to be these boards, into which I'm going to be putting my frame ties. These are my frame ties. So positioning my fireworks on here, working out where they're going to go, screw some frame ties in, butt it up against the sides of the cakes to stop them moving around, and then that will stop them toppling. I will transport them to site without the cakes in, because otherwise they're going to be too heavy, but I'll label where each one's going to go. Then it'll be just a case of, when I get to the site, slotting the fireworks into their slots between these frame ties, and then connecting them all up, and they should be good to go. Ollie Clark says, you verified disco balls or tequila sunrise from Celtic Fireworks Marko. I don't think I've done disco balls. I think I've done Tequila Sunrise, or have I done, which one have I done? Was it Celtic Dawn? There's two that are quite similar. I think I've done Tequila Sunrise. Plan to use them on my finale to my back garden display. Yeah, I mean, they're both good pieces. They are both good pieces. All the Celtic pieces are good, let's be honest. Disco balls from memory is kind of like strobing bursts, so that looks quite good. Tequila Sunrise, I think there's some nice colours in that. So, yeah, they'll be good. I mean, I'd have no problem using Celtic pieces like that for a small garden display. Yeah, as the finale, absolutely, they will look good. Let's see. Also surprising to see the Love Heart-shaped rockets on sale to consumers now too. Yes, you can get Love Heart-shaped rockets. I love heart rockets. I think it's, who's manufacturing those? Is it Classic that's doing those? There might be a few different ones out there. Love Heart rockets, Love Heart shells. They are good when they work, but you'll notice like product videos of those will have fired loads before they get one that's orientated right. They do have a habit of not orientating correctly, so they don't look like hearts. They can sometimes just look like a line, because of course at the end of the day it's a 2D heart, and if you're the wrong way onto that, all you're going to see is a line or something that looks stretched and elongated. So they're good when they work and they burst how you want them to burst, but getting them to burst how you want them to burst is virtually impossible. So if you're going to use Love Heart rockets, really you need to send up a volley of them to stand a chance of one of them producing an actual heart. So there we go. Tomorrow, I like it every day. Yes, tomorrow. Have you fired? Oh yeah, we've read that one. Would you say shells are safer than rockets? Shells are safer than rockets if you're a professional and you know what you're doing and you know how to use shells safely. Shells are safer than rockets from the point of view of there's no stick that comes down, there's no debris. Yes, okay, you can get the cardboard shell carcass that can come down in some quite big chunks, but you don't have the wooden rocket stick. So in that respect, they are safer. In the respect of their flight path is more uniform. Rockets can go off at kind of tangents. Shells, you put them in mortar tubes, they go up, generally speaking, in the direction you're pointing the mortar tubes. So they're less erratic in their flight than rockets. So yes, overall I would say shells are safer, but shells are not available to consumers. They're only available to professionals, to people with specialist knowledge, and you have to know what you're doing with them to be able to use them safely. Because the other thing as well, shells don't come with visco fuse like your consumer fireworks do. Visco fuse, you light it, you've got 7 seconds at least or whatever to retire before it goes off. Shells don't come with that. Shells come with quick match, which is basically instant ignition. So if you get a shell, you hear horror stories of shells appearing on the black market and being available to people who don't know what they're doing, and they think you can just light the quick match at the end and you've got time to get away, and no, you haven't. It's instantaneous lift, instantaneous explosion, and it does a lot of damage. So shells, require specialist knowledge, but if you know what you're doing with them and you do have that specialist knowledge, then I think yes, they are safer than rockets. Do you think Primed are a great brand? I do. Primed are good. Primed and Evolution are kind of the same brand. I'm using some Evolution stuff in it. In fact, actually, I think am I using some Primed as well? I'm not sure. Yeah, Primed are good. Primed are good. I do like how all their cakes are named after like gambling and money and things like that. Someone pointed that out to me last year. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yes, I hadn't really twigged on that. But yes, I have fired some Prime stuff. I think last year. You'll find it on my channel. Yeah, Primed are good. No problems with Prime. Yes, especially if there's a breeze, you have no chance. Yes, we're talking about rockets. Rockets as well tend to track into the wind, which you'd think they wouldn't, but they do. So yeah, rocket sticks can kind of come down all over the place. Excuse me. So yes, I don't use them in public displays. Ollie says, I've always preferred to use large shot tubes and candles in my smaller back garden displays instead of big rockets. Yes, absolutely. You can the thing is, nowadays you can get some cakes that go as high as rockets, and so there used to be a time when cakes didn't go that high, and so if you wanted an effect really high in the sky, you had to use rockets. Nowadays, some of the bigger cakes do go, 30 meters plus high, and so they go as high as rockets and break as good as rockets, if not better. And really, pound for pound, generally speaking, you're going to get better value with cakes than you are with rockets, pound for pound. So there we go. So yeah, I think, guys, I think we're probably going to, because we're coming up to half midnight now, that seems like a good place to stop for today. Tomorrow, we'll stream again tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think we'll probably do some cake prep, because we've not done cakes yet. We've done lots of fountains. You guys are probably sick of fountains. We've done lots of candles. You guys are probably sick of candles. We've not really looked at cakes yet. So tomorrow we'll look at cakes. We'll look at how we skim cakes, how we waterproof cakes, how we get those all ready. We'll do that on the stream tomorrow. What time will that stream be? I don't know. We'll see. It might be in the afternoon. It might be in the evening. Best way is to subscribe to my channel, enable all notifications, and that way when I do go live, YouTube will send you a little email to say, hey, the Great Marko's live, go check him out. So that's the best thing to do. And if you've not clicked like yet on this stream, only 15 people have clicked like on this stream so far, even though 150 people have viewed it so far in the 2 hours 55, nearly 3 hours we've been going. So if you've not clicked like yet on this video, if you've enjoyed the past 2 hours 55 minutes, if you've been here for the duration or just popped in for 5 minutes, if you've enjoyed this stream, why not click like? Consider subscribing if you like fireworks, if you like this kind of content, if it's been enjoyable, entertaining and educational, why not subscribe to my channel for more amazing content? And I will be back again, all being well, at some point tomorrow. So until then, we'll say night night to everyone in the chat. So thanks for everyone that's been here. For all of those who have been here for the whole 2 hours 55. Bulletproof Mum, I see, is still here. She's been here for the whole duration. Joseph says, I'm number 16. Thank you for being number 16 and liking my stream. Joseph, I appreciate that. Thank you. And goodbye to everyone else as well. Ollie Clark, Sparky Power, Norfolk Pyro, everybody else that's been here. So yeah, hope you guys have a good night and hope your prep's going well if you're doing prep for a show. If not, I hope you've enjoyed this stream, and I'll stop rabbiting now and go and get a drink and go and get some sleep. And I'll see you all back here same time, well, not same time, at some point tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Night, night. Have a great night and see you again real soon. Bye.